Greetings, tankers. I'm your instructor, and this is Season 2 of Tank Coach. Here, you will learn all about vehicle types and their roles. Today, we'll talk about the most versatile warriors in the game. This episode is about medium tanks. They are typically vehicles with a reasonable balance of maneuverability, firepower, and protection. They're a good choice for a player who has already learned the heavy tank gameplay and now wants something more dynamic. All tanks are different, and all of them, starting from Tier 6, have roles. Medium tanks are no exception. The versatile medium tank is the most common role. These can do a bit of everything, but it doesn't mean they're mediocre. They can snipe and go on assault when required, so they act according to the situation. Assault medium tanks share some traits with heavy tanks. They excel at close range, while their armor gives some room for error and allows for more aggressive play. This is the best choice for new players and fans of using armor at the front line. Sniper medium tanks have higher firepower and often good maneuverability, but they pay for it with lower survivability. They're usually played at mid and long range. In the hands of a skilled player, they can be successful at close range. Support medium tanks are often equipped with an auto-loader or auto-reloader. This kind of vehicle dishes out a lot of damage in a short time. At the start of battle, a support tank is best to stay behind sturdier allies and then look for opportunities to strike when there is more space to maneuver on the map. Let's say you've chosen the vehicle role. It's time to equip your tank for battle. Besides the classic Brothers in Arms and repair perks, take a look at Smooth Ride and Snapshot for more accurate fire. Concealment and Firefighting for increased survivability. Recon and Situational Awareness for better view range. There are many other useful perks that will help you become more effective. Train them and experiment. A turbocharger will make you faster. Put it into a special mobility slot. If you can use a gun rammer, just do it. A vertical stabilizer is desirable for most medium tanks. It's not fitted for low-tier machines, but the following two pieces of equipment can be used. Coated optics will boost your view range. They're useful to have in the second set of equipment that you can unlock with field modification. Improved ventilation is a timeless classic. It improves a bit of everything. It's preferable to use its bounty or improved version. Improved hardening will suit many assault medium tanks. So, you've equipped your tank and entered a battle. In a sniper medium tank, look for a position with bushes and lines of fire to the enemy. In a versatile medium, find suitable terrain for a hull-down position. In an assault medium tank, use a position for damage blocking on the front line. In a support medium, keep behind your allies and act according to the situation. But this applies to any role. If your team is left without light tanks, a medium tank can sometimes also play the role of a scout. But be careful. Tank safe positions, although not far from the front line. Use bushes, fell trees, and hide your hull using terrain and cover. Survive at the start of the battle to have space for maneuver close to the end. Try to attack reloading enemies and break their tracks by shooting their wheels. Remember that medium tanks often have a better rate of fire than heavy tanks and tank destroyers, so you can trade one enemy shot for two of your own. Be nimble and flexible. Be aware of your surroundings and the mini-map to keep control of the situation. Keep close to your allies and see you on the battlefield.
victory. So are you coming with us?
The final Onslaught season and the annual cycle will launch with some exciting new features. Now, during the countdown, each team can vote to ban one vehicle, which will become unavailable for all players on both teams. This gives you a chance to exclude the most dangerous enemy vehicle for you and its copies, or propose to ban the least useful vehicle from your own team. If your vehicle ends up banned, you'll have enough time to choose another one. You can learn all the details about this feature in the Portal article. The airfield map has been fine-tuned to better suit the 7v7 format. Erlenberg and Safe Haven have also been adjusted a little. The Dravettes, Caro 45T, and Ares 90 have joined the list of vehicles available in Onslaught. The roll skill of the latter has been modified to support its unique firing mechanic. Available for free rental this season are the Object 140, Foch B, and T57 Heavy. The now rentable vehicles come with consumables, equipment, shells, and 4-perk crews. Only the shells and consumables can be changed. In addition, the 114 SP2 is now available for purchase starting from the Silver League, not the Gold. Remember that this launch concludes the Year of the Dragon. This is your chance to get the super rare Ashbringer.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the AMD Onslaught Legends Series Season 6. Phil, starting it off today immediately with a banger, I would say. Hit and run versus cashback.
I mean, like, that's what we thought the last time we saw Cashback against W, and kind of like disappointed
It was a
bit.
bang.
I mean, it was a bang, but not a banger. Yeah, we have already managed to get the first day of Phase 2 behind us, and are now starting to get into the later stages of the competition. Today is the second day of Phase 2, so after that we'll have 3 more to collect points. Also, obviously, to collect money from the prize pool. We are at nearly 50k. Obviously, there's still quite some time for teams to get into the position where it looks like their bundle is the best one to get. Talking about bundles, Ducky, which ones do you suggest people to get?
I'm getting the hit and run bundle this season. I got it last season, and I was almost right. But this season, I'll be fully right. That's my guess.
I mean, like, I got the hit and run bundle last season as well, but I feel like W is doing really well this season. Maybe it's a bait, because usually if they're not doing so well in the season,
they do better in the finals.
Then they do better in the playoffs. So maybe, I don't know. But I guess we have a couple more play days to see how it goes. Today, obviously, again, you can top up your tokens, 5 tokens today, and then working through the next week, there are 35 more tokens to be earned. So definitely some good stuff in the token store, even some premium tanks and customization.
Yeah, I mean, E75TS, Banger, Scorpion, and the SU. I'm not a fan of it personally, but there's probably people that are. I'd be going for the E75TS personally, nonetheless. But a little bit of the anything and everything for anybody there. These are the standings updated after last week. And yeah, you said W is doing really well, and it's resulted into them being on top of the leaderboard, actually. Coming out of nowhere, you can also see that they have a 7-win streak.
Yeah, they only lost the first match to Cashback 3-0, and I feel like they did them pretty dirty last play day when they went 4-0 over Cashback, giving them some revenge. But yeah, I mean, Cashback in a bit of a interesting situation.
Bit of a pickle, to be honest. They started off today against Cashback. That weekend versus Sicarios, that could be a problem for Cashback, because if Weekend takes the full points there and Cashback loses, then the gap is not 5 points anymore, but it'd be 9 points. It would be very, very hard for them to recover that. It's possible, however, they have everything to play for still. This is, of course, the roadmap, which I think Phil is going to take us through.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we had the last day of the regular season for the OCS. So the teams are locked in for the playoffs, and obviously we want to show all the other teams that didn't make it this time that there is still plenty planned for the summer. We'll have some qualification and relegation matches in June, most importantly, and then we'll have something super new in July. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it will involve multiple regions. For everyone that wants to lock in the dates in their calendars already, you can find them on the screen or pause the video at a later point in time. We have the Onslaught Legends Cup, our, I would say, reoccurring summer highlight. Definitely something to look out for. And obviously confirming officially here as well, we'll have in September and October the 7th season of the Onslaught Legends series, Onslaught Legends Finals, and also the OCS.
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming your way, especially back again in September as well with another season. Can't wait. But first of all, we got to see what this season delivers for the final 2 weeks. If Cashback could win this, I mean, it's a tall order to do so. It would be very, very good for them, because they really, really need the points, and they're going to have to beat more than just Weekend. They still have a match in hand against Weekend, but they got to take points against other teams as well. So why not hit and run?
Yeah, I mean, hit and run, adding one player or returning player to their lineup, Sir Jacob there on the right side. But I think most importantly for them, Monster is back as well. He was, I think, on a Metallica concert on Tuesday, so I had a good time doing something else. But then he saw the chaos that Hit and Run was kind of like inflicting on themselves and decided to come back today. Also back on the side of Cashback will be the one and only, the GOAT.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Cashback today?
I mean, Mindbreaker's fusing with Barbarian there on the side, but you know, he's back as well. I don't know. This Cashback is a team in crisis, I would say. You know, they banded back up, basically got their core back together, and it's just not working for them whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, looks like there was a bit of a Mindbreaker and Barbarian reunion. They didn't have the greatest matches together, so now they're best buddies there. Pansphere as well, among the best. Really good performances that we have seen from him. You can see a high pen rate, KD ratio as well, especially for someone that is playing tanks like the Dravek for 30U and Type, which are usually not the redline tanks, but more like in your face. And yeah, great pen rate, great DPG, great performance. Obviously one of those guys that we have seen over the years always be in one of the top teams and among the top performers.
Yeah, always doing very, very well and continuing to do so. His team will need him today to bring home the victory against Cashback. Maybe this knife's edge that Cashback is going to be playing on will help them overcome their struggles, or it will push them deeper into the hole of despair because, like I said, if they lose this and we can win their match, it's looking not impossible, however, very, very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the community predictions are mostly justified. I think 22% is something that we would usually say is quite low for Cashback, but so has been their level to their own standards, I would say. Kind of like underperforming so far. I'm not sure if I can pinpoint something explicitly that I feel like is not going well. Maybe you have some more insights?
I'm not sure. Maybe that's a mix of opinions coming in. I don't know. Like, it just seems like they're not really on the same wavelength, you know? Like, they're not really vibing.
Yeah, we have the saying in German, it's like too many cooks are ruining the pot.
Yeah.
Like, if too many people are working on the same idea. But yeah, I mean, first thing to be overcome is Hit and Run on Westfield. Definitely one of their maps, especially now that they have returned that map to OLS Season 6. Ensk, then something we have seen Cashback do very well on, but also kind of the opposite. And then Ghost Town and Cliff for map 3, or potentially the tiebreaker.
If we get there. If Westfield, of
there.
course, is a map that Hit and Run really, really liked across seasons, if I'm not mistaken. A really, really big fan of Westfield. Whenever you talk about Westfield, they're always big fans of it. So, you know, not surprised that they're opting for that.
You know, whenever they are being told to touch some grass, they go to Westfield.
Yeah, probably something like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. But I know that they're fans of Westfield. If you remember the discussions on Discord, they're quite often talking about that one as well. So I am looking forward to it. Mostly looking forward to how Cashback plays this match. Maybe they finally found the magic voodoo that will bring them success, because it's, I wouldn't say now or never, but it's close to it.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to find some magic voodoo with Vervi yesterday, but we had like 35% over a couple of hours of playing
There's a reason
duo queue.
why Vervi renamed himself to Loser in game. It wasn't a joke, actually. It was.
I mean, he has a new nickname now, but
Yeah, it's some really.
it doesn't indicate much greater performance either. Let's say it like this.
I mean, I don't know why you would affiliate yourself with such things. Predictions though, 4-0 for Banter. You and Kihan going for 4-1.
Yeah, I was thinking about giving them a second point, maybe because Hit and Run was struggling a bit against Weekend, but then I decided that Hit and Run has, aside from like some smaller moments, been looking much more the team that I want to give my points to, and I went with 4-1.
Ban tanks, maybe for cashback. Hit and Run banning the BZ leaves us with this triple B, triple Dravets, and an RHM for Hit and Run.
Yeah, I mean, the STRV on the side of cashback is definitely something that Little has been able to make work very well in the past, also on maps like Sand River. But yeah, I think they have a very interesting setup. Reminds me on kind of the old times of, a bit of everything cashback lineups. The spotting plane hits 3 on the side of Hit, 4 on the side of cashback. So Katsai has a second plane available. Liberty needs to do some work for that. Oh, Liberty might be in danger there. First 50B shot misses, but now he's getting hit. Immediate damage flying onto both the frontline tanks there. The 50B also received quite some damage, but Franek picks up the first kill, gets around the corner, and maybe he will take one shot, but he's getting out there for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think Liberty expected these 50Bs whatsoever. Botsik is yet again in the lineup, though, playing this one out, and Ketsai taking the strike. Now, where does the side of cashback go? Little is in the STRV, but they lost their main mans. They lost Liberty, and now Barbarian and Squeezy, you can see them be in so much trouble. Strikes coming in, Crossfire coming in, Squeezy and Barbarian, the latter dying first. The second one will be dying in just a second. It's, well, not the start that cashback would be hoping for, but it's the start they're going to get.
Yeah, with that being said, I think Katsai is this time a bit more patient, moving now up towards this corner where he can potentially do some trades together with Botchik into Mindbreaker. Picks up a very good kill here onto the Dravek, and you can see the other side of the map is not looking very differently. Aka is being encroached by 2 Draveks, and obviously the Badger has great DPM, even gets some extra help from Little, but you can see minus 2k there nearly onto the STRV, who is sitting now spotted again on 13 HP only. Shots are flying in, Katsai picking up the next kill, Mindbreaker doing what he can, but his clip is empty. And I think this is kind of the one-sided affair that our colleagues predicting 4-0 were looking for.
Yeah, if every round plays out like this, it will be a quick 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of that, obviously, because I would like to see some gameplay as well, but it is what it is, right?
It definitely counts. I mean, Hit and Run did everything right, you know? That is another thing to look at it. You know, Cashback definitely didn't do everything right, but Hit and Run did. And, you know, because of that, they kind of rolled up and over.
No, I mean, you can see the STRV at 1.3k damage, just like, this is the tank that you want to dish out all the damage that you can find, but there was just no uptime for it whatsoever, no spots, no positions. I mean, you know, the Badger did fairly well for the fact that it was somewhat alone there. Mindbreaker was the last surviving 50B, so he got out a second clip, I guess. But yeah, everyone else on the side of Hit and Run did their job. Katsai picking up 4 kills, so I wouldn't mind the a bit lower damage numbers there. Maybe Franek will be a bit unhappy. He only got 2k as well in his B, but a very solid round. I think it was even 7-0, so a good start for Hit, and definitely a bit of a momentum taker for Cashback.
It was 7-0, yeah, so taking that into consideration. I mean, I don't think that they're paying that much attention to it. I think Cashback was just, you know, kind of realizing they were in a problem after the very first 30 seconds when Liberty died, and it didn't really end up getting much better after that.
No, I mean, the phase 1 score 3-1, I think at that point we were still saying like, well, it's the beginning and both of them are top teams. And Cashback had won, I think 3-0 in the first match against Sicario, so they were still in a fairly comfortable position. But yeah, Cashback went from, I think, 2-1 in match victories to their current, I think, 2-6. So they're definitely not in a position where they would like to be, and they should definitely do their best to get some rounds and some points in today, if possible.
In phase 1, we still had hopes and dreams for Cashback. Now all we have left
I mean,
is hope.
I was about to say, like, the dreams are over, the hope is still there.
Hope dies last, you know.
Okay, let's see. The ban phase is nearly ending. Hit and Run banning the BZ and the Yo-Tank being banned by Cashback. So STRV would be up for either side again. So is the 50B. No STRVs, but Triple B on the side of Hit and Run. Double Dravek, Franik in the 140 and Katsai playing the light tank. Liberty trying it a second time with the Tessak, Little in the Fosh. 2 Bliskers, 2 Draveks and a 50B. Which side do you prefer?
I think Cashback. I like Cashback's lineup a little bit more. If they do not instantly get owned by the 50Bs, they have the higher sustain, but the 50Bs have that burst.
No. Obviously, the plane coming in again, both sides 3 spots this time, so no second plane for Katsai. I would say that the plane was maybe a tiny bit in favor of Hit and Run, because the important thing was that their 50Bs didn't get spotted, and that's kind of like the initial threat that they're trying to impose onto Cashback. But yeah, Liberty much more passive this time. I think all the 50Bs know that they should not overextend there. Maybe the RHM can pick up the lower strike or the info tower that he decided for now.
For Hit and Run today.
Yeah, I think he has some stuff with his studies or something. Monster was mentioning something. But, I mean, so far, Bocek is doing an alright job to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think Aphrodite didn't even fully intend to taking the radio tower. He just wanted to kind of like spot check, see if there is something in the back that would
something.
shoot him.
He may have even played the standard bushes at A4, because all the Bs were looking that way, but Little backed off from that. If he would have gotten spotted, he would have been dead. But because Getza used his plane on something, and I think it had to be that.
No. I mean, you can see the Tessak also fell back even a bit more. How is the situation there with the spraying onto the RT strike?
No, you can't. Not from there.
There's no chance, right? Like,
no, not from there.
In theory, they could send a 50B and pick up a strike maybe, but you obviously also have the Dravek on B1 that is a bit exposed if someone over pushes there. From what I remember, like, there's still at least 2 tanks on each side which were not spotted yet. So the 50Bs obviously would be spotted with this info tower. Yeah, there it is. So the jig is up. And I guess we had before the info tower as well for Hit and Run. So both teams have both info now, like the whole info.
Liberty uses his plane. That's on towards the information tower in the south. He said gets reset. Squeezy does take a shot back in return. But of course, Liberty gets his replane on, and it's very slow. But Hit and Run does have that one strike under their control on the 6-7 line that Deja ends up taking. And now you can see a big rotation here across the A line.
Mm-hmm.
Little Mindbreaker, Liberty, but they don't really have anything to push on.
No, and I think Katsai took a fairly alright spot. You could see there was a tracer, like a white colored line in the back. So I think Katsai was also doing some spotting checks there. A bit of damage flying into Squeezy, who, if I remember correctly, you mentioned took a shot earlier when he traded 1-for-1 with T-Sec as well. I assume the 50Bs will have reloaded if they gave a shot earlier, so that is a tiny bit in favor of Hit and Run, but I guess not really critical. The cap was started as well. Barbarian now trying to attempt to get one of the RT strikes. Damage flying in onto Mindbreaker, who takes 3 shots immediately, make it 4, down to roughly half HP, and I think Hit and Run didn't get any punishment aside from some shots flying towards Ketsai, who kind of like just whooshes out of it. 200 damage into Decha, I think that's a good trade in favor of Hit and Run. And the 50 Bs, we mentioned it many times in the past. Obviously, if they can reload and get a full clip in again, that is great for them. Yeah, good strike, but the 50 Bs will not just be sitting on like 3 or even 2 shots, so that helps. Great plane as well again. Liberty making sure that they get the information. And I think Fronic had decided temporarily to get forward there to cover a potential push onto the 6-7 line. But yeah, got a bit punished for this because they shifted back to the northern area.
Yeah, I don't think the straight ended up that much in favor of Hit and Run now at the end of the day, to be honest.
Yeah, because Fronic took quite some damage.
Yeah, and they hit the strike.
Plus the strike.
Yeah, the strike
Plus
was
the
850. Fronic taking 2 shots as well. Ended up being pretty even because of that. Like they were massively ahead, and then it kind of meh.
Maybe one thing that is still worth noting is that Decha kept his strike, which means Hit and Run has like 1 extra small tool in their pocket, and the 50 Bs are on their way back. Liberty is still fairly healthy, so if he should get spotted, I think he will not get immediately exploded on that distance with the 50 Bs having no abilities aside from the one that Decha has. T-Sec is spotted, and I think he's standing sideways towards Liberty, but on this distance it's probably pretty risky, right? To like expose yourself by shooting.
Yeah, I think that would be the case. Ketsai ends up using his plane, and it's on towards the gap where they're gonna use the strike that they still had with Decha. Does good amount of damage though on towards that. Little now backing off, and Liberty needs to be very careful because the 50 Bs from the little city could shoot at him, and you can see Decha already starting to get shots. 1 in, 2 in, the 3rd one coming in as well, and I think Liberty might be dead once more.
Yeah, I mean, very good shooting there from the 50 Bs. We mentioned it that there would be danger if he gets spotted. I thought he could maybe escape, but Ketsai making sure to replane him, and I mean, Monster is still on 3.4k HP. Pun's Fury in the DJ in the corner is also fairly healthy still, and as long as Monster can trade 1-for-1 there, this is pretty good for Hit and Run, who are now up 5k HP again.
Yeah, and the strike is gonna hit only Barbarians, so Squeezy manages to dodge it, but like the problem remains though. They're in the same scenario as last game where the light is dead. Ketsai is starting to take ground already. The Bees are closing in. They want to make the kill here, to be honest. Aka pushing forward, but Squeezy down towards 900, and T-Sec is already coming in. Gives him 1, will give him the other 2 pretty quickly as well, but T-Sec gotta be careful. A lot of damage being received. Down towards 9 HP, might even die to Mindbreaker. In the meantime, Little and Aphrodite are pushing on towards DJ, but I don't know if Little's actually gonna make that. I don't think so, as Decha comes in with the clip to keep DJ alive. It's all falling apart for Cashback once more. This time in a longer fashion, but the result remains the same. It's going to be 2-0 for Hit and Run, moving out of Westfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's again those small things, right? You do those individual trades, and then here and there, Fronic gets in a shot, the fight starts, and you play against the level 3 Inspire. The same stuff with Liberty, who gets a bit greedy and then ends up getting picked up. The Tessak was obviously not like the idea of the main damage dealer, but still, you lose a full gun again. That does hurt.
It's horrible for Cashback, you know, losing this 2-0. And again, you know, Liberty getting caught out. I don't think he expected the Beast to be that quickly back into the city, right? That does a phenomenal job in his 50B. And yeah, that the sack really just not working out 2 games. I think it's pretty obvious that neither game he really had a big impact.
I mean, Decha missed 1 single shot on this distance, and he did 3.3k damage sniping.
Yeah, I mean,
so like that's really good in the 50B. But yeah, again, good stuff from Hit and Run. I really like the patience as well, and I mean, we had this match I think on Himmelsdorf 2 days ago, where Ketsai was kind of like overstepping a bit, and this time he did it really well, like moving back when he saw that enemies are approaching and then recovering the space. And I mean, we saw his performance ending up as well with like 4k spotting, especially the important gun that was eliminated to close in with the 50B. And good stuff for hit and run, moving into Ensk. And yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what Cashback has prepared, because it's not looking too great for them. Not gonna lie.
I mean, hit and run winning their map pick is good for them, but now we're gonna have to see some amazing ends come out from Cashback.
No, I mean, to be honest, I don't see how hit and run just gives 2 rounds of Ensk away, but maybe Cashback is willing to step it up and just take it from them. We have loaded into the game, and the ban phase is running, so let's see what the teams have prepared. Let's see if this is staying locked in. I'm seeing some interesting stuff here, but I guess teams are usually also hovering tanks that they are not intending to play in case of a restart. And the ban phase is over now. Okay, looking at the lineups, 50B and E4 banned, resulting in a lot of types on the side of hit and run. A Dravik, 268, that's the tank that I saw earlier, and a Forge B. Triple Forge B for Cashback, triple Dravik, and a type as well. How do you feel about that?
I mean, Cashback has that rotation, right? But the Dravik and the Forge B, also the burst. It honestly depends on the engagement they can take. Like, if they can actually find somebody to push on, I think they could snowball really easily with these tanks. If they don't, those Type 5s will slowly but surely take control over the map and kind of just dominate them. And you can see the HP difference is 3k, so that's the problem with picking this lighter lineup. But, you know, it gets an advantage of being able to push better.
No, I mean, initially no damage traded. For now, we saw, I think it was Mentos playing the E3 there in a similar position that DJ has right now, doing pretty well against enemy types. Now we traded 1 shot each for Aka and DJ, which I guess is good for DJ because he has more alpha, but Aka makes it into the strike. And in the meantime, the other strike is being claimed by the triple Forge B. Important as well, the radio tower under control of Cashback. So the HP advantage, you mentioned it, in favor of hit and run, but Cashback grabbing quite a lot of resources now with 3 points of interest and basically 850 guaranteed damage, considering that none of the other tanks is fast enough to drive out of a strike.
Little chip damage, but not much. But Cashback does control the map, though. I mean, look at how much they've taken on the 1 to 3 line. They're controlling 0 line. It's really hard for hit and run to move with these types because they're slow, they're big, and if they try to push the field, those Forge Bs will be there in like 3.5 seconds.
No, but there is no control for Cashback on the rails, so the types could, in theory, come closer when it comes to the city. Basically, the only type that is locked there is DJ, but he is basically being busy with Aphrodite anyway. So in that regard, there is still at least 4 tanks on his side, which could do some kind of attacking in the city. The trades obviously are now going back and forth. I mean, is it worth it to trade basically 800 for 800 and then use the ability? I mean, looks like he had like a level 2 ability at least. Little gets shot as well. I mean, the trades seem to continue going in favor of hit and run. The RT strikes have not been used yet, so Cashback has that still to their disposal, but Wojcik is coming closer, and Barbarian is for the moment at least stuck there.
Aphrodite's had a really bad time there, though. Like a really bad time in that Type 5. Down towards 1.4. That's not one trade not going his way. That's about 3-4 trades not going his way. And Franek outplaying Squeezy gets a shot as well. Through those bushes. Good stuff there from Franek. Finding a shot. And the HP, it's not really got much better for Cashback. They were down 3k, now it's 5k.
No, Franek, well done. Hitting the cupola. Cupola is fairly small, to be honest, so definitely good job. Onslaught modifiers helping a bit. The repush is coming now. Double strike being deployed onto the double Type 5. The reloads have been committed, and I think the Foch Bees will make short work there of Bocek. He will not get another reload in. There is some resistance coming in from hit and run, but the 5k HP difference that we saw at the beginning is pretty much getting evaporated.
Yeah, that's the burst of the Foch B, and now it's cower away, disperse, and potentially do it again. And they're doing just that. They're going to camp the strike as well. The Foch B and the 268 from hit and run are trying to make a reaction, because right now, if they let this go too long, it will be game over for them. And they realize this, and they're pushing the field with everything. But they're still having this double type of Decha and Tisek that are in the back lines that are not really able to do that. And DJ taking already a few shots. Monster Cats are now coming in with the Foch B, with the 268. But Aphrodite's still there. And even though his straights were not that great, I was going to say he survives, but he doesn't get around the corner. And now Mindbreaker and Squeezy in a little bit of trouble, but still the problems for hit and run are mounting, because Decha couldn't get anywhere, couldn't go away. He's going to die. And yes, Squeezy and Mindbreaker are going to fall as well, but who really comes out ahead in that trade?
Yeah, look at the HPs of Barbarian again. He was down to 200 HP, and now he is back on 1.2. He has the ability ready to his disposal, and I think Cashback is in a pretty solid spot. I mean, we've seen Barbarian over and over performing really well in those clutch situations where you need to be timing your force ability really well. He healed like nearly 1k just in this ability, and we saw him use the ability earlier as well. Franek will be able to get the info tower, so the information is there, but Monster is quite isolated.
Yeah, but it seems like Cashback is going to hold up just for a second. Little and Liberty already moving, but they're waiting for Barbarian and Aka to come close. And the cap gets started as well. I think it's a smart choice here to put a little bit of extra pressure. No need to YOLO in themselves with a double cap. There's not much hit and run can do, because the rail's currently controlled by Cashback. It's just Franek that could cross the north, but even he will be spotted for this. Big strike.
Yeah. Good strike usage. I mean, you could argue that Monster is low HP and you could like eliminate a gun, but realistically speaking, everyone else is capable of just clipping or one-shotting him anyway. There is the engagement we were looking for, Liberty versus Monster. Obviously Liberty with a bigger HP pool, activating the ability as well, will be able to heal some damage up again. In the meantime, Aka has lost some damage there into Franek, who managed to bounce his shoal, and I think Cashback now should be able to make short work of them. Katsai picks up a very good kill, gets another reload in, and Liberty takes 1k to the face, but with only Franek being alive and Barbarian having 2 shots as well to help Aka, this should be the first point in favor of Cashback.
Double HP ban there for Katsai frontally against the Foch B. With that 268 finding the kill, then reloading and doing it again. I mean, whew, that was a lot of damage in a short amount of time for that 268, but the result remains the same. Cashback ends up winning this game. Yeah, the burst of those Foch Bs, we could see just how much it can actually do.
Yeah, I have to say, I was not super convinced about this 268, because we didn't really see any big effect on the damage number until it. Not sure if it really mattered in the end. Barbarian, great performance. 7.2k damage, and let me take a look at the healing. He did, 1.2k healing as well, so really good usage of the ability. He fired 16, 16, 14. Liberty with 19, 18, 17 as well, so good stuff there by them. Where do you think this all went wrong? Was it just this good push there onto, I guess, Decha and Wojcik?
Yeah, I think Hit and Run didn't pull back enough. You know, they were too close, and then Cashback took the info point, and then Hit and Run was too close, because they popped the info, they saw the positions, and they were like, oh well, we can just push these types, double strike them, so 900 each, so 1.8k damage out of that alone, and then found the kills on one of them, And then later on, the same problem occurs because the types cannot run from the city, so they just get overwhelmed.
No. So Cashback has their first point on the board, and that eliminates all the 4-0 predictions. I would say it was still fairly close. I mean, we had a situation where it was 4 against 4 with like 700 HP difference. And as I mentioned, if Barbarian misses the timing a bit more and doesn't heal for that much, this could have been a 3 versus 4 with advantage on hit and run side. But nice for them to keep it a bit more interesting and close. The bans are coming in, E4 and Foch on the side of hit and run. And it looks like we'll have a restart. So the teams are able to, yeah, so the teams are able to change the bans and their vehicles as well. So that's why you saw everyone switching to like STRVs and stuff in the end to not reveal their lineup. We'll have to wait until the countdown is over. That is like 5 more seconds. Then everyone will leave the room, and we will basically wait until the disconnected player comes back or is being replaced by a substitute. With that being said, anything new that you have seen from people playing on Ensk? I feel like the E3 kind of got into meta a bit more.
I feel like Ensk is just a bit slower in general, no? Compared to what we saw across some seasons. It was and it hasn't really changed like in that regard. Remember, Weekend was one of the teams to bring BZs and push with them, and we kind of don't see this anymore at all. Even
there was a good reason we didn't see that again.
It was working for them for a long time, to be honest.
Yeah,
and like in general, Ensk was played very, very quickly. We had Bliskavitzes, we had Foch Bs, but now we're kind of on a slower Ensk in general.
Wasn't it actually Cashback who played against W 2 days ago? Double BZ on the field on Ensk? That was the situation where it was, I think, Iset and Aka pushing, and one of them exploded before they even reached the, what is it, A0, like northeastern Kebi position there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And we saw like pushes down the 1 line, if you remember, with like Foshes and Bliskas, like triple Foch, triple Bliska down 1-2 line, like all the way around. We saw that at some point as well. So this is a lot slower in comparison.
I mean, definitely I had a couple of captains telling me that Ensk also for them got more enjoyable. Same bans, by the way, because of the bans, because it just gives you like this like little extra option of navigating around a certain tank like the Foch B, or not having to bother with the rails that much by banning the E4. Talking about the rails, I think the IS-4 is a tank that we have seen there being played quite nicely. And take a look at the triple tank destroyer combination from Hit and Run.
Yeah, triple.
This is locked
V4,
in, by the way.
Interesting. I mean, the V4 has completely fallen out of fashion. I don't think it would. I mean, can't even fall out of fashion because it was never fashion to begin with.
I mean, it was like
Yeah, but in Onslaught.
2 years ago.
Was it ever an Onslaught? No, right?
I mean, we had some 268 V4s when the reverse speed plus the reduction. You remember at the beginning, the Juggernaut ability worked differently. You got, I think, 4 seconds. At some point, it was even 5 seconds reload reduction for every shot that came in. This is something that was changed when the Tessak was introduced. And yeah, I mean, Tessak is, by the way, also one of those tanks that came back or like was used because of the Juggernaut, right? I mean, we saw Cashback playing it even on Ensk. I hit and run with 3k advantage, and this time mostly because of trades. Nobody so far deciding to take the 8-line RT strike, but both of the points of interest being used on the F line from Cashback now. So far trades going, I would say, fairly one-sided in favor of Hit and Run. Another good one there by DJ. Obviously, the IS-4 kind of superior in this kind of trading pattern over the type. You have better penetration, kind of better armor as well. and it doesn't matter that you are lower on the alpha side.
Yeah, and you know the Type 5 is not a easy shot against the 268v4. You still have to hit that cupola. More likely than not, and Aphrodite now pull him back in his Type 5. Will take another shot from DJ, may take one from Decha. No, that ends up missing. Botsik missing as well. And even with the improved accuracy, the Type, not the most accurate tank in Onslaught.
No, I mean, for a good reason. There are a lot of other qualities that this tank has, a lot of HPs and stuff. Ketsai with a bit of a cheeky move there, trying to get maybe into the back of the tanks, but Liberty taking a bunch of damage, minus 1.8k down to 700 HPs. That is too strikeable. Not enough for Monster to kill him with his 650 Alpha gun, but you know, a high roll or a bit of a ram would help him out. 7k, 6.5k HP difference now.
Yeah, I mean, especially Liberty got owned in that 140, right?
Yeah, but also the type trades, you can see them right now, like, did not go in their favor.
It's really been a good match for Liberty in general, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he is having a bit of a tough time. Botchik trading, 1-for-1. I guess that's a good thing if you're the higher HP tank, because you kind of like end up creating more one-shots on the enemy side. Franik got spotted there, so that is important. They used the radio tower and decided, okay, we'll strike Franik. Maybe they could have moved the strike a bit closer, so they destroy the building in front of him as well, but I guess they didn't want to risk him dodging it. Barbarian and Squeezy have to cross, and you can see T-Sex, Derp Gun, 268v4 are not able to punish the crossing immediately, but now it's very important that Franik makes his shot work.
Franik does make a shot work against Mindbreaker, gives him the full clip. Barbarian will find the kill, though the HP now down towards 2.5k difference only. That's important to note because it was really bad at some point. In the meantime, the repush coming back across from Hit and Run with Ketsai and Monster leading the charge. Mindbreaker in a little bit of a bad scenario, has to face T-Seg. Barbarian getting pushed as well by Monster, having to take the 1v1 there. Monster looking for Mindbreaker. Maybe this is not the peak Monster would like, though, because Barbarian is probably going to keep him tracked, or try to keep him tracked, so Squeezy can find the finish at some point. Barbarian now behind the building. Aka finding DJ. Squeezy, can he find the kill on Monster? No, another non-connection, but Liberty coming in from the back lines. That low HP 140 being a sneaky one in this one. Finds a shot. Barbarian getting rammed to dead. However, Aka and Aphrodite now trading against Decha. Little coming back in with a good shot against Decha. Finds the clip, peeks around that corner, and now Liberty from behind could be a real difference maker here. The low HP 140 could be very, very annoying. The HP is all even, but somehow it's 5 guns from Cashback versus just 3 from Hit and Run, and now forced peek from Ketsai and T-Sec on towards Squeezy. Good double team. Finds success. Aka surviving, though. Important. Liberty coming in with the 140. Good shot from Aka from the side. Liberty to finish it off in the 140. And Cashback, don't write them off. They were down like 6k, and now they're going to end up winning the game nonetheless.
Yeah, I have to say, I feel like Hit was just lacking the DPM in the end. Like, they just didn't have enough damage to kind of like get the other tanks that were already like on half or low HP out of the game. I mean, the 268 has, you know, like some mobility, some armor, but we saw some fluffed shots, but also in the end, the 140 inspiring and putting in the damage, that is, I'm pretty sure the game-breaking factor in this case.
The 140, I think, ended up doing a decent amount of damage. I mean, Liberty surviving, very important on 700 HP, stayed alive, came from behind, started being annoying as well, but a few exchanges there going Cashback's way. You know, the kill on the 50B was honestly relatively clean. The Bliskavica takes the damage, the 57 clips out, the 57 gets another clip after. All in all, pretty good result for them. And then the Hit and Run repush is, you know, 268v4s, sure, but repushing with them is a bit annoying. You know, like you get tracked because of the Juggernaut ability, you need to make a peek, you don't really have DPM like you said. The IS-4 is somehow dying off in no man's land by himself, I think it looked like. No. So we didn't even see him die. I just know he died, I think, at the strike, you know, which is like, and you can see the result though, like, honestly, there's a lot of block damage on both sides. Like Aphrodite blocks 5.6k, Aka 3.2. But I look at Hit and Run, they have a lot of block damage as well, spread across numerous tanks altogether. But they're missing, indeed. You know, Decha doesn't do that much in this. Franek gets only one clip in the 50.
Decha shot 972.
Yeah, and then...
I mean, it's always this shots like long distance onto side scraping types and stuff, but still.
I mean, Little and Liberty, right? Liberty was low HP, does 4K. I think that's pretty good for a low HP 140. Well, Westfield Ensk, respective picks from either team going 2-0. Now moving into Ghost Town.
Ghost Town, a bit of a different caliber. I think we'll not see a lot of this stacking of types, but maybe like a single one here or there. We had a bunch of K91 plays from Hit and Run. K91, let me remind you, same as the Leopard one, which maybe someone should have told Cashback last time, got a bit nerfed. They only have 95% of their first skill charge at the beginning, so you need to either get like a first spot, a shot of damage in, or do anything useful, basically, anything active. Looking at the bans, the K91 is banned anyway, so the Leopard would be available. EPR banned on the side of Hit and Run. Hit and Run coming in again with triple B, double Dravik, a CS, and the RHM. And Cashback coming in with a mix of everything. Dravik, T57 type, Leopard, E4, and double light tank.
So, Hit and Run kinda wants to play aggressive with this lineup, no? With the triple B. Cashback has kind of anymore the perfect lineup to counter this, right? One extra light is ideal. Talked about that before. And they have that. They don't get a lot of info. They spot 2 tanks. They didn't spot the 50Bs that are going 1-2 line.
No, and Ketze didn't use his plane, so for the people that were wondering why tanks drove backwards at the beginning, they're basically just going back to avoid getting planed. Now, Squeezy got... Squeezy? No, he's not disconnected, he's moving. Maybe he was trying to like shoot the Draviks driving into the cap or something like that, but he got spotted for it and shot, was not able to return
Honestly,
fire.
getting shot is not that bad.
Are you arguing because you get the prestige points?
You get enough.
I think he got the prestige points for the first spot of the Dravik.
No, the light already...
No, they got spotted anyway, right?
Spotted, the light spotted the Dravet. If anything, you know, like you take one shot if you're squeezy, but you do get the strike. And we know how important that can be. So I would say, you know, it's not ideal, but... ooh, Ketsa getting spotted out in the light. Will be forced to run away now.
So the trades in the city have started as well. I mean, Tisek took one from Aphrodite, I think, but he was before already able to give one to Squeezy. Overall, still fairly equal trades. But yeah, the long journey of the 50B is still ongoing, and to be honest, Squeezy did a good job in getting away from them.
Yeah, Hit and Run will try to consolidate on some push here, though. Good strike, and nonetheless from Cashback, hits on 2. They get the info now, they see the 50Bs, they see the CS, and I think Cashback now knows what's up and is going to fall back into the 7-8 line. Hit and Run tried to come into a position, maybe banking on resetting that strike one more, or the information tower one more time, so they could clip with the Bs, and now they're pushing down with Franek and Decha, but that's not a possibility for them. They're running away. Monster's still crossing the A-line, but that's all by his lonesome. There is a Leopard there is an RHM. It's not a fight he can win, even with support from his teammates. It's just not really going to happen. He does take that little ditch in front of Liberty, and Liberty might even opt to run away from this. Monster still pushing for Liberty. The Leopard is kind of lacking here. Franek goes down. Liberty now getting crossfired, and Squeezy too busy shooting towards the city to help his light tank player of Liberty, and Liberty might actually die because of this. Now Squeezy starting to repush, but this is a little too late almost. No need to repush even for him. Liberty might stay alive. The strike is coming though. Will the strike kill him? No, the strike is not going to be hitting him. And now Monster down towards the one-shot. Liberty to pick it up, but this was not clean. Nonetheless, the rest of the round was clean though.
Yeah, I mean, hit and run down to 4 tanks, 3.5k HP. I mean, this 50B thing, it can work if there's like some tanks driving towards the 1-2 line, but I feel like at any point in time this was quite risky, and it was also one of those things where you put yourself in a position where you're the team that has to do something. Because, you know, the E4 and the types, they are just trading over time with high alpha guns, peeking, putting a shot of damage, and Cashback with their double light tank was able to get the initial control as well, cashing in onto the RT strike. So yeah, 3 rounds in a row. And
Match point.
is it too early to say Cashback is back? Question mark.
I mean, they're doing well so far, but I also think Hit and Run is really giving them opportunities. Maybe not this one, because they would wanted to try something, but on the Ensk, you know, the second Ensk really gave them a lot of opportunities to come back into that battle. And this one, I don't know, some set piece, maybe they were hoping to reset, like I said, the communication tower one more time, then you plane it with Ketsam, you already used this plane, the bees are at A4, you clip the guy out fully, who knows. The only thing you can critique here from Cashback's side is the Leopard RHM play between the two. You know, like Squeezy's a bit too focused on shooting the city and should be shooting Monster the whole way down. So Monster has 0 chances of actually killing Liberty. And then I don't even think that Squeezy needs to repush that. You know, I really don't think it's necessary.
No, I think Monster just felt like, you know, if he doesn't kill the light tank, it's over anyway. He had some supportive fire from the back. But yeah, the 50Bs lost so much HP just getting there. So it kind of like ended up being irrelevant on what they were doing anyway. Franik there on 400 damage. Yeah, that's not how you want your 50Bs to look like. And I mean, DJ as well with 3 shots of damage. It's just not enough.
No, not enough indeed. Yeah, neither of those 50Bs really getting too much out, right?
No, I mean, you can try this, but I have to say, like, the moment I saw it, I felt like this was this typical hit and run strat. We are trying something special, and that just sometimes doesn't work. I mean, the 50B literally fired a single time.
Yeah, so interesting attempt. Didn't end up working out. Gotta ask him what the ultimate goal was. But it does give Cashback a real opportunity here to take 4 points.
Yeah, and that would be a very, very important point.
Super important, really. It really gets them into the race, because then you have to start thinking like, okay, we assume Weekend will beat Sicarios, right? I think it's fair to think that way. But if Cashback takes 4 here, they will keep the gap at 9 points then, I think it was, or no, 5 points. And then if they beat them, like Weekend, in their match, then all of a sudden it becomes 1 point.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. All the predictions are obviously no longer possible, but if Hit and Run wins this round on Ghost Town, we will see the tiebreaker and potentially still get our prediction for Hit and Run as the victor of this match, right? EBR burnt again. So is the E4 on the side of Cashback. Double T57, double type, an E50M, K91, and Liberty picking the RHM this time. On the side of Hit and Run, I'm seeing 250Bs again, Dravek, Yo-Tank, double CS, and RHM.
Maybe another, like
this
last time.
Could be a cap
Yeah,
strat, maybe?
Last time they played the CSs, they played them on the cap, if I remember well. And
no, usually the Yo tank is the tank we see to kind of like block the damage. No, not the damage. The capture on the big RT strike next to the staircase. Wasn't W playing pretty much exactly the same thing against Cashback?
yeah, and they ended up getting capped.
Okay, let's see. Monster made it into the cap. Bocek pushed in Dravek, so Tsek ended up being there a bit earlier. There is no strike yet available for Squeezy. That is important to mention. Squeezy is also not really in a position where he can get like a shot in or first spot or something. 8 seconds left. I'm pretty sure they will get some decaps still. 5 seconds left. Now decaps are coming in, and obviously T57s and types are heavier tanks than the double CS, but the traits are still pretty much okay for hit and run, and especially with now the strikes coming in as well. If they can maybe pick up Mindbreaker, that would be pretty good for them.
Tisek will peek for Mindbreaker in the Dravats. He does find the kill. Now Franek and DJ are on reload. Tisek will push off of the cap more likely than not, and DJ and Franek are going to look for Little and Liberty, and those two I think realize that right now they're in a lot of trouble. Aphrodite, can he get the kill? No, he ends up missing the shot. Aka in the meantime on towards Decha in that Mivi, but Barbarian's reloaded though. He's clipping out on towards a different tank actually, trying to maximize his damage. Does a good job there. Now Aphrodite needs to pick up Tisek in return, so Barbarian trying to maximize. He does that as well. Tisek and Monster are dead. Liberty will survive. Squeezy coming back in to help against Decha in that Mivi, and now DJ down towards a one-shot as well. The HP is good for Cashback. The focus fire was tremendous. The decision maker there from Barbarian, absolutely top tier. They get 2 for 1 because of that. And now the end result is that Cashback keep themselves alive. The playoff dream back. Rejuvenated even. I mean, they're going to shoot a little bit better than this. Is little bounces Botchik, but it's not going to change anything. They're going to be winning this 4-2, putting the pressure on Weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely not what I would have expected, especially not after those 2 rounds on Westfield. I mean, Hit and Run was looking very good until it all turned around, and the Uno reverse card was being played on them.
Yeah, fantastic by Cashback, you know, picking up 4 straight rounds, bringing it home. And here this Ghost Gun looked really iffy for a while. You know, the 57s forced around the corner, Mindbreaker dying. They didn't get to focus much, but then the middle segment, right, where Hit and Run tried to leave the cap and repush. I think Barbarian did a really, really good clip onto the back of somebody that was on the cap, right, but not on towards Tisek. Tisek got picked up by Aphrodite, Barbarian picked up somebody else basically, and Little and Liberty ran away just in time to survive and create a new layer of crossfire.
No, I mean, it was close. It was like 5 seconds, but, you know, Cashback could not really be surprised by this cap attempt anymore. The K91 ended up still dealing quite okay-ish damage for the fact that it was out of the game at the beginning. I would say the team effort of Cashback made it happen in the end. It was a close game. You can see like it's 1.6k damage difference, but that's how the cookie crumbles. 4 points in favor of Cashback, and Hit and Run. I mean, they had a really good start, but not enough today.
Not enough, and you know, they really played an interesting style here on Ghost Town that didn't end up working, but really good stuff for Cashback, putting the pressure straight back onto Weekend. If Weekend were to somehow drop any points against Sicarios, then you know, all of a sudden it's back. So Cashback took 4, they're on 11, Weekend is on 13, so they're ahead by 2. If Weekend win their match, then they're back at 6, but you know, Cashback and Weekend still gotta play each other.
No, I mean, we hoped for a banger, and I feel like we at least, you know, moved towards that part. Definitely a closer and better match than the 4-0 we saw between Cashback and W. After some highlights, we'll hopefully have the next big match ahead of us. So see you in roughly 5 minutes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the AMD OLS Legends Series Season 6. Banter, welcome. I think you may have missed the first one.
Yeah, I missed part of it, got home and watched the rest. I mean, I predicted 4-0 for hit and run. Looking back, it probably wasn't, especially considering what we saw in the last play day for hit and run, how poorly they played against Weekend. You might have been able to see this coming, but moving into the next one, still a good one.
One with a lot of pressure here. If Sicarios were to beat Weekend, then all of a sudden everything is back in Cashback's hands. You know, they beat Weekend, they're back. Is this that simple? We will have to see.
Let's not run ahead. Even if Sicarios do beat Weekend, it's not fully decided, because then Sicarios will have caught up with Cashback, so it still means it's going to be a three-legged race for that final playoff spot.
Sure, with Sicarios having the worst leg out of them in terms of belief, but they can of course do it. They had a pretty good match against Mafia, right?
Yeah, they had a decent match in the previous play day. They especially considering in the first phase it was 3-0 for Mafia. In that phase yesterday, it went to tiebreaker, I believe.
Yeah, it went to tiebreaker on Tuesday, indeed.
Yeah, and I don't think if you look at all our predictions, it's like 4-0, 4-1, and Mafia Sicarios showed some fight. So both of these teams, they're performing, I think, above the level we'd anticipate. When we look at the previous match, Hit and Run and Cashback are kind of performing below the rate we'd expect. So I think this is going to be much more competitive than it looks.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so, because this prediction is roughly the same as Hit and Runs versus Cashback. Weekend, of course, is not going to get anything for free. I mean, it's about more than just the top four, right? Top four is the main goal, but also that fifth and sixth position are very important, the difference between them.
Yeah, the prize money difference, the prestige difference.
Relegations and staying in immediately.
Yeah, exactly. You get to be in OLS Season 7 as well. You don't get kicked immediately out. I mean, we saw it in last season. I think it was W overtook Mafia in the final play, so they got that extra prize money. The maps are definitely going to be telling. Weekend choosing Cliff, Sicarios, Ensk, and Pilsen with a final map of Tundra. Any strong opinions?
I mean, Cliff is already going to bring a big break in this match, I think, depending on how it goes. It's a complex map in a way, very quick paced.
I feel like you'd never choose Cliff as like your first map. You'd always want it to be like second or third. I would never really choose it if I was going into a match.
I mean, usually, you unless you're really faith in yourself, you start off with something a bit slower, get into the match, and then the middle part is where you want to make the difference. Here, Cliff will already be very important, but Ensk is also a 2-0 map, either way. Pilsen is the one where it's like a lot slower, you can't really predict. It would be fair to say that quite often you see it be split down the middle just because of different ways to play. It's, like I said, hard to predict where it's going to go. So, Cliff coming out, I'd like to see it nonetheless between these two. I'm not entirely sure how both teams will end up playing it out.
Yeah, Cliff is one of my favorite maps. I mean, it's fast, it's dynamic, it has bright colors. It's a nice one. Pilsen, I think Pilsen definitely, all the Polish teams tend to perform very well on Pilsen. We saw Mafia and Hit and Run play it before, so they perform very well on it. Predictions. Yeah, we'll go. You're going for the harsher prediction today in the previous.
I believe in Weekend. Just the way.
Believe?
Yeah.
This hard. I also believe in Weekend. I just don't believe in Weekend 4-1. What I saw last play day.
I don't know. I feel like Weekend style matches up well against what Sicario wants to do. That's why.
Fair enough. I mean, we'll see. But I don't know. I think Sicario is choosing Ensk. I think you don't. If you choose Himmels, you can just play something on Himmels, right? But I think if you choose Ensk, you're cooking something on it, right? Cliff, Cliff can go either way. It can be 2-0 for either team. It can be 1-1. It's just that type of map based around reactions and luck, kind of. I think if we get to Pilsen, I also think Sicarios are going to be cooking something on that. I won't be surprised if this even goes to tiebreaker, to be honest.
Possible as well. Let's see. Ban phase about to end. BZ being banned by Sicarios and 50B by Weekend gives Sicarios a 277, triple CS, and triple for Ryu.
They are changing the lineups. Batchet coming out. The weekend side, they always like to change until the very last second. One Dravik, one CS. That's a quad 50M, and one other CS. Hurricanes and CS don't go together. Yeah, I think the bans are quite important, right? Because BZs, you tend to have them in packs, same with 50Bs, and the fact that oftentimes, in the random onslaught queue, we see CS being banned because that's not banned. We're now seeing it a little bit here in play, but double Batchet by Dario.
No planes on either team. It's a 6 tank up versus a 6 tank up. So both teams roughly the same split, just difference in the tanks that they're bringing. Trash Panda will bail towards the 2 line, while Paradise will try to take the hill. So very similar approach from both teams, just different executions.
Yeah, and it's interesting, 430 style versus E50M style. More accurate gun and gun depression versus a little bit better armor and higher alpha in those 430Us. Weekend setting up more defensively, though, those double 50Ms crossing around the hill. And Sicarios are now crossing over, so Trash Panda's going to need to run. He can't stick this.
He doesn't know about Rishik. He actually doesn't know about Rishik, and now Trash Panda's in trouble. He didn't realize that Rishik was already crossing over as well in the Batchet, and Rishik blocking as well. Good play from Rishik there in the Batchet 25T, and now Trash Panda is going to die for this. I mean, yeah, in return, there should be some push coming out from Weekend on a different part of the map, but the problem for them remains the same, is that Paradise cannot really win the top of the hill either. That's a good dodge by him, though. The stun will work in his favor. It's going to bail out as well. Miku now getting tracked on the ramp. Maybe Weekend can do something with this, but it will be a very hard game for them.
Yeah, there's so much crossfire. The 50Ms around the hill, they're out of game. The hill, we can't really see who's winning that hill at the moment. The 50Ms, they're finally coming in. They should probably be able to pick up Miku, but Click has a lot of HP. He will kill Attractive no matter what. Like wins the hill, which is very important. That upper ground position, Attractive goes down, Miku goes down. But Click versus Sunshine, I think that's going to go in Click's favor. Doesn't connect that one, but takes a shot from the hill. And now, as the game slows slightly, Clownsit goes down, but position-wise, gotta give it to Sicarios.
I mean, it's kind of over. They have the hill, they have the 5 line, there's a full HP 50M stuck on the lower side. They have 3 extra guns as well. If they won the top of the hill, you could say maybe they have a chance, but they didn't even win that. Like from the beginning on, Paradise was down 2 shots, never really recovered. I think at some point he got shot in the back by the bats as well. And Sicario is going to end up picking up the first game. I think Trash Panda was aiming to stick it and then run away and drop the strike and trade somewhat even because of it. But I don't think he expected Reshek to come in that bad. That was the one that was the unknown factor. He was not spotted crossing over.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think he should stick it, to be honest. I mean, what, you take 2 shots leaving? And then you drop the strike. I mean, it's still a net negative trade, and he would be in a bad position, forced to repush into the middle, where there was still 430Us and greed. We can call that greedy. And from that point on, I mean, it was a hard battle for Weekend to win. They were forced to make a play on the hill to regain some map control. They had double E50M around the hill who were out of game. They had an E50M on the lower side who was also out of game. And that's the thing, right? When you have a Batchet on lower side, it's a lot quicker to get in the game than a 50M is.
And rotates quicker as well.
Yeah, I think in a slower game, Weekend have a much better time here. But Sicarios, they made the decisive play, which you can really respect. There's a lot on the line in this game. And, when there's a lot on the line, you kind of think both teams are going to slow the game down and not take risks. But Sicarios made the decisive play, so deserved first game.
Deserved first game for them. And, yeah, good stuff. Starting off Cliff well. Weekend not getting the better of them in this one. The double bat doing pretty well as well. Reshek with 3.5, Milo with 3.1, Reshek with the strike damage as well. So they basically did the same between them, making it a worthwhile pick actually.
Yeah, and Reshek did the blocking action on Paradise, which is very, very important. It means he can't run. I think if he doesn't block him, he probably gets away. Sure, he's basically almost dead, but it's those like little things, right? This isn't random battles. You got to play for the team in this. It doesn't matter. I prefer to do 0 and win than do 10k and lose. So nice little plays coming out, showing Reshek is a massively experienced player. And going to the second one, got to start thinking about, I mean, again, like you said, like I said, it can be 2-0 for either team. It can be 1-1. It's just a map where Cliff is a map of moments, like seconds in between plays. that can make such a big difference.
Yeah, and then initial is super important as well.
Yeah, exactly. How many up, how many down, what tanks you have. It's just one of those maps where it's a lot of gamble, right? Because your enemy can take in that previous game, right? They're taking 50Ms. 50Ms are not very quick in comparison to like Batchats or 430Us are quicker with the recent buff to the engine power. So they wanted a bit of a slower game. The 50Ms were going around the hill. They take a long time, so you don't want an over push in that time, which did happen. Well, they did an over push in the donut, which forced them to make a play. But we'll need to see. I got a feeling they're not going to go mid this time.
Well, BZ banned, 50B banned, Sicarios. Will they stick to the IS4, I wonder? No, they won't. So it's a 277, double CS63, no, double CS63 still, an IS7, and quad 430U this time.
Yeah, when they were all in 50Bs, and when it bans the 50B, it puts them to the first tank in the garage, which was the IS4s. And yeah, Weekend with a more measured lineup. Triple Dravik, double CS, so 140 RHM. So they will have that information in the beginning. Sicarios, they switched around a little as well, sticking it with one Batchat, but again, with a lot of mobility. IS7 is an interesting pick, though. We don't often see it on this map.
No, but it's very quick, especially when it's boosted, which it seems to be doing by 430Us.
Choo-choo train. I mean, with the increased engine power, I mean, it's not a CS, but it's not that bad.
A lot of things lower here, though, for Sicarios, and they're all about to get spotted. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunshine even gives a shot. They're clicking Adi, immediately looking to push through. Sunshine quick to run away. Rishik Milo taking some damage on taking the hill, but they will secure it nonetheless. And now they need cover, because if they allow Paradise to drive up, okay, they can't stop that. But if they allow Clownsec to drive up, for example, as well, then all of a sudden it becomes a real problem.
Yeah, you get like a BZ or a Dravik up the hill, that hold down potential. He will shred those CSs. But this is a big, bold rotation by Sicarios. Double 430U, leaving the 1-2 line and rotating. Bear in mind, that's going to be a lot of time they're out of game. But they are opting to take that risk. Strike being taken around the hill by the 140. The RHM of Sunshine, he is re-aggressing that one line to maybe try and get some information. Sicarios changing their mind, though, with these 430Us, actually going back into the 1-2 line.
And sometimes that's all you need. But right now, they're playing the game of hill control and then donut control in between, but they'll still have to decap at some point, and they have to use the strike for that, and they don't have a plane, so if they do end up missing the strike, then they're all of a sudden in trouble. Sunshine does get spotted out for making a shot on towards Like, doesn't connect. The double CS from the hill, though. You see those tracers coming in. If Sunshine is not careful, Rishik and Milo will give him one. Clownsec now taking the hill. That's one of the dangers we talked about, that the Dravets takes the hill. Evilok needs to be careful there in the CS63. Takes a shot from Like. Takes a shot from the hill as well. Like looking to give another one as well. That CS63 seems to be in a little bit of a pickle, in a bad position. And a lot of shots missed here on Adi as well. And now the top of the hill, though, Milo and Rishek are going to be fighting it out. But right now, I wouldn't even say that they're guaranteed to lose it. The strike coming out, numerous strikes coming out, actually. That one hurts. That actually seals the deal.
Yeah, with Clownsec bouncing that one, maybe if he crossed, they could have DPM'd out Paradise, but not anymore. Sunshine gives one into Mayo, so Mayo will go down in the next shot. He does. That's a 2-tank disadvantage for Sicarios. And not really superior positions either. They have pushed out this 1-2 to get some crossfire. Donut control is still theirs. But with a 2-tank disadvantage, cap control in Weekend's hands, info tower about to come out. There's just no realistic way back into this, apart from maybe a desperation push through the middle. The info tower is going to try and be taken by the Batchat, but it's 6 seconds to go. Strike comes out on Evilok, so he will get decapped. But that only
doesn't have the cap.
It to 5 seconds left. Now we need to see. The big decap does come out, but this is the
march across.
Charge.
Yeah, it's the march across the open for Miku, followed by Click, because they need to decap, and Miku's dying for this already. Click will not do much better. The strike comes in as well. Sunshine's going around the hill. It is, no man's land for those two trying to cross over. They both die. Yeah, this hill fight kind of sold the deal. Milo and Rishek, I think they smelled an opportunity to win it, and because of that, they bunched up. And when they bunched up, I think they took about 1.2, 1.3k in strike damage. And yeah, that was enough. That was definitely enough to win the hill.
Yeah, and Paradise played well, actually. He shot them going up in the beginning, waited until he was unspotted, snuck up the hill. So I think both the CSs, when they went up, they took 2 shots each. Paradise was full HP when he got up there. Obviously, he's still in a 2v1, so he can't win it until the Dravik arrives. But yeah, taking this, you know, that northern spawn on Cliff, it gets slightly better mid position. So tens from the lower side, teams from the lower side, they tend to play donut a bit more. But you do still need to contest the middle a little bit, otherwise you get situations like this where you're gambling that you can punish them enough going up the hill. Because if they take that hill, it's basically over. Repushing the mid is next to impossible.
Yeah, so it is what it is. You know, Weekend getting a good round. Paradise, like you said, does a good job there on the hill. Gets 5.1k, 1,000 from strikes. So even without strikes, would still be top of the board. Good stuff from him. Nonetheless, I mean, well played from Weekend. They slow it down with the light. They get the info they need. They pressure the right points. It all ends up working out for them. So solid stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very step by step. I think the only mistake Weekend did was they kept Milo in that position for a bit too long. I think like the moment they push out the 1-2, Milo dies. He has to drop and go, you know, behind the rock in their base. Otherwise, he will just take too much damage in those positions from the 430Us. But they used the timing well, right? They pushed double 430U to kill him. And because Milo is dying, the attention is away from the middle, so they can sneak the Dravik up. They don't really sneak him up the hill, right? He takes 1k, but the moment he's up there, the fate of the hill is sealed. So, yeah, it's a good trade to lose Milo, but I still think Milo should just drop, go behind the rock, try and sell his soul a little bit more expensive. But moving into Ensk now, 1-1. Haven't really seen enough to make any definitive choices about who's going to take any more rounds.
Ensk again, a map where either team could find some advantage. We saw between Cashback and Hit and Run, where Cashback won both rounds. Interesting battle. 268v4 coming back, and that will be seen to many of them here.
Yeah, I saw highlights with that. 268, I mean, ever since the rebalance it got quite some time ago, it was a V4. It's not the tank it used to be. I mean, you know, sometimes you got to try something. They tried something, it didn't work. I didn't see the game, but I watched the highlights. So yeah, I think Weekend are going to play a little bit more of a standard with maybe some types, E4s, depending on pick and bans. But I'm hoping Sicarios is their map pick. I hope we see something a bit more unique.
Ban D4 on both teams, so, you know, there's that. The CSs, I think Sicarios has played with this before, no?
Yes. Was it them? I've definitely seen
I think so.
CS.
I think it was against Mafia even.
Yeah, they took both the strikes in the beginning, and then they retreated, but Mafia beat them against the strat. They were south spawn, I remember.
Yeah, because Mafia repushed 1-2 line in the CS, and there was a K91 on the south as well, I think.
Yeah, you got caught. Yeah.
Got caught, even though they had that control. But yeah, this is a really...
The heavy lineup by Sicarios. So like Dravik probably on the 0 line, the types are an anchor, the CSs are sneaking the strikes in the beginning. We're looking on the weekends. Oh, sorry, it froze for me there for a second. I was concerned that was my internet.
You're still here.
Oh, thank God, for once. Yeah, but weekend, triple TVD7, those TVD7s, they can, they may not be E4s, but they can shred those types, like, pretty good if they get the right engagement. Double Fosh as well. I've been saying for a while, I think Fosh is falling a little bit out of favor in the current meta, but it's still potent if it gets the right clip off.
I mean, Catchback used them really well on Ensk.
Well, I wasn't there for that, so...
Yeah, they basically went through the types at some point.
Yeah, I just think the long reload on the Fosh is a limiting factor. You know what I mean? Like, so many times I've seen a Fosh just on reload running away, dying, while the rest of the team is, like, getting picked up by 50Bs.
But again, a slower Ensk start. Sicarios does have complete control over the eastern side, though, and they know that they have this control.
Yeah, no tank in A0. It's a bold one. You normally see one tank there just to keep the map control. And the thing is, Sicarios are playing a dangerous game as well. Those double types are advancing in the city, and they do not have much burst cover. There's no T57s or 50Bs behind them for backup. There's no high DPM Bliskers. Click and Addy are just driving to their deaths at the moment.
Click and Addy are going to have to hold the line in that double type, and right now, Weekend, I think, smells his Sunshine Paradise Attractive about to explode on the side. Here comes Sunshine, Click, realize this, there's the Forge B, there's his 57, there's the second 57, all of a sudden his HP ain't worth much anymore. That Type 5 just dies, and Sicarios is late to the party. They knew everything there was to know about this, and yet they were not ready to deal with this. Weekend comes in and cleans up that double Type 5 that were left stranded like a whale. And no saving them in that one. I mean, they could try and do some damage here, but a little too late.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only mistake Weekend did was they put the strike on the types. I mean, they were dead before the strike even happened, and you just gotta ask, Sicarios, you have full info. Why are we committing those double types in? What was the objective? I really don't understand that, but the game continues. Trash Panda is facing off against Mayo. Trash Panda does have the HP advantage, but you know, Weekend, they just smell blood in the water. The strike, he'll destroy the buildings. That's high IQ right there. Strike does destroy buildings, so Miku in a bad position will get clipped out partially. Two shots not connecting, but won't make overall a big amount of differences. Weekend are just mopping up.
Yeah, Paradise now peeking out. He might be a two-shot. He might even die between Miku and Alex, because Alex is taking up the strike. Alex actually was not able to take it. Attractive about to come off of reload. Paradise might still die. Nope. Attractive gets the reload first before Miku, and the game is over. Ensk, number one, going completely the way of Weekend. And Sicarios probably wondering to themselves, why is the type so far with so little cover? Or maybe they tried to sell a big fake, you know?
Yeah, but Weekend had the info point. They, you know, it's a big fake if there are two T57s behind those types, right? To punish the peaks. That's a fake. But when you have the lineup, you see that they have a Dravik, 4 types, and 2 CSs. They know there's no burst on the Sicarios lineup. So if they're going to peak and punish those types, they're only going to take 1 or 2 shots in return, even if they have backup. I just don't get the logic of what Sicarios did. This was just completely illogical based on the information they had. Just keeping the map control, keeping those 2 types back towards the red line and playing on position and punishing rotation and cap control, that's a playable game. But pushing those types in like that, so unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is, right? At this point.
Strike damage by Alex.
Not bad. He hit.
It's the only good thing in that game.
And they gotta be careful, because Ensk is a very quick affair. Before you know it, it could honestly be 3-1. Like, really.
Yeah.
It's a real issue with playing these fast rounds. You know, Cliff 1, Cliff 2, Ensk 1, Ensk 2. Before, like, 15 minutes later, you've played 4 games.
Yeah. Not wrong. The maps are fairly small. I think Ensk is probably the smallest map in the OLS map pool. It used to be one of the smallest in the game. And I don't know what to say about this one. I mean, it was just unnecessary by Sicarios. They had the information. They knew the lineup. They knew where they were. They knew that they had the complete field control. They had double type to hold the city. They had a Weekend boxed in a corner. And I don't know, if you back an animal with sharp claws into a corner, you don't go in with him. You keep him at arm's length. You punish every move he makes. You know, they have these types. These types, they want to be trading 1 for 1. Because if a type hits a TVD7, TVD7 hits the type 1 for 1. It's a good trade for the type every day of the week. But just going forward, I mean, like and Addy, they were gone before we finished the sentence.
Yeah, I mean, type, a lot of HP, but when there's so much burst coming your way, it's hard to do much. And, you know, well, Sicarios has a second round of Ensk. You know, they win the next one, they can forget that this one ever happened. Maybe they missed something. You know, maybe they were overthinking it.
True, but you and me both know they were in prime position in that previous game. They were in a golden position, full field control, double type anchoring the south to punish any moves. They were really, it's hard to overstate on a tactical level how they weren't that far ahead, but they had much better positions. They could have applied cap pressure, and it would have been really hard for Weekend to respond, because they have no strike tanks. They have 1 strike that keeps refreshing, which they can punish potentially with types in the city, like further back. It was just a strange one. They had the information, but regardless, now we have to go into the next one. I think bans on Ensk, bans on Ensk and Cliff, they're 2 of the maps because they're such close quarters, and I think the bans on these maps are really important, right? Because if E4s are banned, you're going to see more types. If types are banned, you're going to see probably more autoloaders, and E4 is being banned on both teams.
Again, that was the first Ensk as well this time around. Sicario switching it up though. Quad 50B, a Dravets, an E5, and a Type 5. So a lot more aggressive 50B. A hard tank to play on Ensk though, especially when it's facing off against a triple T57, double Type, a 140, and a Foch B from Weekend.
Yeah, it's a bit like a Foch with extra steps. I mean, the thing about that is, right, they have to catch someone, which means they need to make a quick initial move. Weekend, triple T57, double Type, 140 for the Inspire, and a Foch B. So it's going to be T57 versus 50Bs, burst versus mobility. But what Sicarios are doing?
We're going to be driving down the rails here in a second.
That's what they tried to do. Do you remember? That's what they tried to do against Mafia with 430Us. But it's not going to work this time because there's nothing on the field.
Oh,
This could explode really badly in Sicario's faces.
Let's see what they do with it, though. The information, I think they have it at this point, that there's nobody there. Adi is driving onto the strike, and now they're dispersing back towards the field. I think they realized what was up. They see the strike being taken in the city as well, giving them some info what is actually happening. No information tower, though. So that gives them info as well that Weekend is taking it slow, because otherwise the communications tower would be taken right now. And I think right now Sicarios is trying to react based upon this.
Yes, a bold one. You know, one peek from these Type 5s down the right rail would give full info. Alex does spot the Type in the cap, makes him shoot, so the 50Bs can now peek and do the full clip. Obviously, we know that there's nothing in the close city to punish. I mean, the damage, it's not that significant. That's a big strike. That was about almost, I think, 1,600 damage strike at least on those 50Bs. No small amount of damage, and I don't think the return was that worth it, though.
Bishek takes a few more on the crossing. I think he thought he was despotted, but he was not. In return now, Weekend, yeah, Trash Panda is 1,400, but like roughly the same. Reshake the same as well. So the trade not that bad whatsoever. Honestly, even good for a Weekend.
Yeah, I think the trade was good for Weekend. You know, the Type is the tank you want. That's not a good trade, though. But, like, the Types are the tanks you want to lose HP, but reducing those 50Bs, two of them to half, I think that's a very worthwhile trade for Weekend, you know? But I think now, Trash Panda being on such low HP, I think that's an issue. I think before he took that Mayo shot, he's fine, because he's, you know, now if the game slows down, Trash Panda is just going to get striked all the time.
That's going to take a while. He will heal up a little bit as well. It's 3 strikes, so that's a long time for Weekend to do something. It's not just going to happen.
I think Sicarios think that E5 is like a good luck charm. They played it in almost every game against Mafia yesterday, and they were winning a lot. So I think they could just keep taking it as like a good luck charm. Adi has a very small shot on this Cupola. Obviously, quite... Ooh.
If Adi only hits this once, it becomes a lot more annoying.
Yeah, I mean, Sicarios have 2 strikes. If he hits it once, they're going to double strike Trash Panda, and then that's going to be tank advantage. That's going to force Weekend to make a move. Right now, Weekend are happy to just sit. I'm surprised that Trash Panda sat there for as long as he did. I'm surprised. I think he thought there were still tanks on the B5 position, but obviously we know there weren't. But now, I mean, at the end of the day, in 50 seconds, there's going to be another strike taken by Like, and that's going to be 3 strikes. 3 strikes on Trash Panda means Trash Panda dies. And that's going to force Weekend to actually make an aggressive play to restore kill parity.
But they don't have an easy target, though, for that.
No, they don't. And especially pushing into this amount of... You know, when you're an autoloader, you always want to be pushed on, right? You don't really want to push because you take the initial damage and the enemies might be far away. When you're forcing your enemy to push onto you, you can choose the engagement. And that's really useful for the 50Bs. And as well, like, you look at the positions at the moment, we have Alex. Alex is in this position because he's spotting the city rotation. He can see down the C and B line, which will give Sicarios early warning if a northern play is going to be made. And because there's that early warning, Sicarios can stack their 50Bs in the south.
Clownzik now starting to take Ooh, there's a double strike. Crash Panda is down
Yep.
towards the one shot. Yeah, you're like you said,
Like.
he's gonna die. He should die.
Yeah, Like is going to place the strike. And he does. So now, life gets a bit more complicated.
A lot more complicated because the HP is swinging in the way of Sicarios in the meantime as well. Alex even getting unspotted shots against Clownzik in that type, giving him a few of those. Drops him towards 2.5. They get the information, and now once they use this, they'll see where Weekend is gathered.
Yeah. But the thing is, there's not really that much they can do with that information. Mayo is spotting down the F line, the E5. He's spotting the B line. They know that Weekend are in the south. They know it's the only play. Mayo's backing off. Attractive spotted. And I just think Sicarios are completely ready for this. But Clownzik, oh, unlucky not to pen that one. I think Mayo needs to be careful. He's taken a shot already a bit unnecessarily. He almost took another one. And the thing is, if they can collapse onto Mayo and pull back, it can be a different game. But that info is pitch perfect. So much information gained there.
But Alex is very lonely. He's very lonely though.
Yeah, but it's going to take them a minute to get to him, and they're going to be punished all the way. Paradise takes 2k on that crossing. There is a strike going to come out, a double strike, so Click is going to be down to a 2-shot. But this is like March of the Elephants at the moment. They take damage wherever they go. Sure, Alex might die here, but there's going to have to be a decisive play on the other side by Sicarios.
Alex starting to get clipped out by Evilog. Click is actually dead. Mino is dead as well. They repush the south once more for the side of Weekend, catching those two tanks on the cap completely off guard. Paradise now coming in with his clip. 1 HP left. Alex not getting the roll, but Alex will not die either because of the heal coming up, so he picks it up. But Evilog is already back off a reload. That's the danger of the 57 heavy. He does bounce one against C5, but Clownzik in the Type 5 to pick it up. And now training against Miku. It's going to be fine for Evilog. He does find his 3 shots. Now trying to stay alive against Adi in the Dravets. Is he able to do that? That's a good question. Like coming back in with his 50B.
Intuition?
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Yes.
He did?
Yeah, that was Intuition HE 1000 in the back. Evilog goes down, and now it's a 4-on-3. The Clownzik has so much HP. We need to see if he gets another HE connection into Like. He is chasing, but Like should be able to play Ringing a Rosie. And the fact that Sunshine only has 2 shells left is really important. It's kind of Kano who can only really make a play unless they can catch Like in a bad position.
Sunshine's going to come back in and give his 2 shots to Like. Now Clownzik reversing. He's going to catch him even. Like overreacting towards Sunshine. He didn't know how many shots he has. And now Clownzik finds the kill. It's 3-on-3, but Weekend with double HP. Kano dies against Rishek. Good strike placement as well. And now Sunshine and Clownzik have it all to do. And they have a realistic scenario here. The strike is back up as well. They may consider going for that one. Simply because if they do take the strike, Rishek is a 1-shot even for the Type 5 as well.
I mean, we should never really be in this position. Sicario was such a big advantage being thrown away. And now, the alpha of the Type is 700, right?
Yes, 700.
Yeah, I suppose 700 or 650. So Addy is a theoretical 1-shot. Sunshine's going to make the play, and he's stuck in these rails. So Sunshine will catch Addy here with his pants down. He will go forward, maybe give one to the Type, but he will die pretty for free.
And the thing is, Sunshine cannot get clipped by Miku. Like, Sunshine will pop his level 3 ability, heal most of his back. Rishek now pushing across. They want to get Sunshine out. He needs to pop his ability. I don't think Sunshine got it on time, though. Rishek and Miku. Miku misses a shot, though, so he doesn't have enough to pick up Sunshine. Sunshine has to face Miku, and I think he realizes this as well. And now Rishek needs to somehow get a shot on towards Sunshine. Can he do it? No, he cannot. Sunshine picks up Miku, and he will survive as well. Look at those sticks of the 50B. The heal coming back in, and Clownzik to pick it up. It's Weekend 3-1. Ay.
That was a game. I don't understand how the guys in the middle just died. I mean, there was a double strike on them. Very blue somehow. But yeah, this was a game that Sicario should never lose. Kind of the same as the previous game. Just a game of throws at the moment. Where, I mean, Alex got caught, but I think that was fine. They dealt a lot of damage on these T57s, but the 50B getting caught in the middle, I don't know. I really don't know what to say about this. I mean, we can see like Attractive and Trash Panda got out barely any damage, but the rest of the team kind of carrying. Sicario's, they're a bit more consistent in the damage they dealt, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, the fact that they got repushed on the rails by the Fush B and then ended up dying with 2 tanks, like Click and the Type, was a disaster. That was the game right there.
Yeah. It died in the middle. Yeah, I mean, that was just not great. I mean, we checked the pen rate. Clownsick, 11 shots fired, 10 pens. Obviously, 2 of those at least were HG. The last 2. I just don't think it should happen like this. I think Sicarios were just in such a prime position to punish every move that Weekend could make, and they gave good punishment. But I think Paradise did a very good strike, hitting he hit the 4 tanks and then there was a double strike in the middle, which killed one of the 50Bs in the type. And I don't know, it just completely collapsed for Weekend, for Sicarios, sorry. And I don't know, I just feel like we shouldn't be in this position. I think Sicarios in both of these games, they should have put it to bed.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, and nonetheless, it is what it is. You know, can't do much about it.
We're going to Pilsen. It is Sicario's pick, and they have shown that they're not bad on this map in the past.
Yeah, but it also depends on how they're feeling after this most recent Ensk. You know, it's kind of a...
Yeah, I wouldn't be very happy.
The motivational kicker, not a good one.
Yeah, I mean, as we say sometimes, it's not that you lose, it's how you lose. And if you lose in a bad way, that can make you not happy, we'll say. But that one really was in the palm of their hands, you know? Like, I think peeking onto the type with the 50Bs altogether was a bad decision, but the fact that the type took another shot, allowing them to kill him with strikes, should have put them in such a good position where they can punish any move that they want to make, that Weekend want to make. But regardless, into the next one.
Bans EBR and Type 5. So we can now... Banning the type gives them double 50B, double BZ, a 140, a Fush B, and Clownsick double switch towards another 50B, so triple 50B.
Triple 50B on the Sicario side, one type. That's 4 T57s, one CS and a K91. Surprising the T57's taking stabs over fence or grousers, but small details. Double strike medium on the Sicario side gives them a lot of versatility. No lights on either team as well, so info is going to be coming quite late. And again, we've seen this throughout this whole match, right? T57's on one side, 50B's on the other.
50B's pushing the 3 line.
Like
might get caught here, no?
Yeah. Oh, but they're not loaded. They need a tracking shot. But the triple 50B the triple T57 are gonna peek on them. This could be an even trade.
The 57s are starting to clip out against Clownsick, and I think Clownsick is dead in the water as well. Does he live through this? No, he does not. So they both find a kill on a BZ respectively. But when we look at it, you can see Weekend now starting to disengage. They don't want to mess with these 57 heavies. They realize that they stay there, they're in trouble. But in return, though, they have taken the strike. They're transitioning towards the gap now, but there's a K91 there. Rishek with a strike in hand as well. So far, so good for Sicarios.
Yeah, so far, so good. Taking that field strike is important. That gives Rishek a small strike and a big strike. So a lot of opportunities for decaps. And bear in mind, guys, 50B, it's excellent at some things, but close quarters against the T57, I still go for that T57 for the quicker reload and interclip, and obviously a bit better armor. Info tower coming out, that's a miss though. Hits Paradise, the small strike misses as well. So that's there. Will Rishek get another plane? I'm not sure if he does, but the clip coming out, the T57 clipping into Paradise, but Paradise doesn't have that many cap points. Now the decaps come out, and these 50Bs, they're just not in a good place right now.
Trash Panda coming in with his BZ. He's going to push across towards Miku. End up not hitting, getting clipped out as well. Click giving him the full load, basically. So more shots coming out. That's a CS63 from Rishek, and Trash Panda will have crossed over, but at what cost? Attractive's coming now as well. But Miku is about to be reloaded, and if Attractive peeks this, he could be in a pretty nasty crossfire. The 140 now coming in as well. Trash Panda is going to peek against Miku. Good peek there from Trash Panda. Ends up missing a shot from Miku's side on towards Trash Panda, which will keep him alive. And Paradise is now, Attractive is now crossing over actually towards Miku. Adi gives 2 Attractive doesn't miss one, but I think Miku's still going to be dead nonetheless. Attractive finds the kill, and all of a sudden starting to fall a little bit apart here. Sunshine pushing on towards Milo, though will pop his ability, but I don't think he can live through this in this Force B. He will go down. Click will fall as well. The strike coming out. Adi is dead, and now Rishik left to his own devices, and Sicario left wondering how does it all go so very wrong yet again. Rishik trying to run away in that CS63. He takes a shot from Trash Panda as well from the side, gets run down, and it's just Milo and Alex left standing, and the cap is still going on. Alex does not have a mini strike, so will have to block nonetheless. Gano finds Milo and Sicarios. Let it slip once more. Another round. The big strike miss from Rishik. The small strike as well. An overreaction. They could only really sit on one spot on the cap anymore.
Yeah, but did you see that play from Click? He opted to ignore the cap and he went left, and because of that he exposed his rear to 2 fully loaded 50Bs. Click was gone in an instant. And after that, there was just no recovery, just small margins, such small margins.
I knew it. I knew it all along, bro. I knew that it was going to play out this way.
Your prediction.
No,
now you can.
No, no. I don't care about the prediction. It's just funny how it actually ends up 4-1, but realistically, this could have been 4-1 for Sicarios in return. But nobody will remember that, though. But you know.
Yeah, exactly. In the end, what does it matter apart from our predictions?
I mean, for Sicarios, it probably matters because, you know, these could have been important points to take against Weekend, to be honest. And if you're cashback, you're also watching this and, like, just pulling out your hair in the meantime because, you know, if you're cashback, you wanted Sicarios to win this as well.
Yeah, and they probably should have. I mean, again, another round where Sicarios have such a heavy advantage, you know, positionally, they were just in such better positions. The punish in the beginning was a positive trade.
No, they were
140 was out of game for 10 minutes. Like this Kano was out of game for the longest time.
No, but it all starts with this big strike miss. Like they could only sit really on one spot on the cap anymore. I think.
Yeah, but even then, when they peaked and got the decaps, I think the TVD7s traded more positive.
Sure, but the strikes should have done 1,000+ damage.
Well, yeah.
That's 1,000 damage missing, and a big strike after for Rishik, because if he hits all 3, he gets a 250 strike, like a level 3 that he can put on people as well, especially to kill them when they're low HP. And like just the sync between players at some point between Sicarios was lost. You know, Trash Panda was pushing on towards Miku, I think, and Adi then clipped the 50B crossing, didn't have the maturity there to move towards his 57 and clip out the BZ in return. You know, stuff like that. Like they weren't really playing together anymore in the last segment of the game.
Yeah, it was all very disjointed, and just that play by Click, you know, I just watched him. He was looking to turn right, and then I saw him turn left, and I looked at both the 50Bs. They were both loaded, hiding, and I just thought, oh no. And then he just got he was full HP, clipped out by 2 50Bs and dead. So, yeah, that's the way it happens sometimes, you know. Congratulations to Weekend, they get the points, and we're going to have to go into the final match of the day after some replays.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the last and final match for the day. And I mean, we started off with pretty much a banger matchup between Hit and Cashback, and I think it's fair to say that the names haven't gotten smaller when it comes to the last match. Now it's going to be Cashback against W. But first of all, we have slightly adjusted the roadmap graphic because we noticed a small mistake. And we have fixed it. The OLC number 5 finals now on the 1st and 2nd of August, which is actually a weekend. That probably makes a lot more sense to everyone involved. And for the OCS changes, my buddy Phil asks me to give a big shout out to the captain of the team of Yogurt, Rachmedik. But now, Banter, let's go into the coming match, W against Mafia.
Yeah, two teams on top form. You know, in the first round, we had in the first game of today, we had two heavy hitters, Hit and Run versus Cashback. But both of those teams had been struggling. Hit and Run less so, but in the first play day of Phase 2, they didn't perform very well against Weekend, considering what you would expect. But in this one, W are coming into this on, I think it's a 7-win streak. They lost their first match in this season, and then they've won every one since then. Mafia a little bit more inconsistent, but still they're in prime position. And you know, I look at the predictions everyone's done. You know, W on a 7-match win streak, and still I'm the only one who says that W are going to win this round. I find that still crazy.
I mean,
just nobody has faith in W. I know they're so inconsistent, but nobody has faith in them. Even the community predictions, they're on a 7-win streak.
I mean, you keep speaking about it, but basically for me, at some point, I remember throughout the season, I was like, okay, Cashback have got to start winning at some point, so I predicted for them against everyone else, and I was correct with that prediction. And today I was like, well, W, they've got to start losing at some point. It wasn't really about them being inconsistent or anything else. I was just like, yeah, they have such a big win streak. I don't think they can pull it off once again, but maybe I will be proven wrongly. First of all, the maps here in this matchup, Tundra and Cliff being taken out. Ruinberg is going to be our first match, or map of the day rather, into Pilsen, which we just saw, and man, it really sucks to be a BZ75 in nowadays meta. We'll see. I think we have the potential for a very explosive matchup. Ruinberg, normally one of those very, very slow maps, but W have shown us in one of the past playdays how to play it fast.
Yeah, they have. I mean, we've seen, you know, in the beginning when Ruinberg was introduced, I was, what was that? It was OP Hacker who suggested it, so I cursed his name. But the meta has shifted. The games are a little bit less slow. You know, we still see those very slow games, but I think it's a bit more dynamic than it once was. Predictions, everyone going for Mafia, just me for W. You know what they say, Phil, when you gamble, if you're winning, you always continue, because winning lasts forever.
Absolutely. Keep gambling, I guess. Yeah, but you going for W, the three of us, or the rest of us, rather, going with Mafia here, although I also did go for a tiebreaker, as did you, so both of us basically of the opinion that it is entirely up to the last map that we are definitely going to go to, whereas Ducky and Phil are saying, well, Mafia are going to take it in regular time. That also would mean a clean 4 points for them.
I just still can't believe, you know, after so many OLS seasons, we still don't have faith in W. You know, they just play in such an inconsistent way. You know, they could lose 4-0 or win 4-3 in a remontada after going down 3 rounds. It's just, W needs some consistency. You know, we have so much faith in Mafia and Hit and Run, but Hit and Run have never even won an OLS. So it's just it's such a surprise. But isn't it just a surprising thing, you know? Like what, W are 2-time champions or 3-time now?
Three times
with
champions.
With different players, obviously. Still a similar core. But the fact that they've won it 3 times, we still don't have faith. It's a crazy thing to me.
Well, let's see what's gonna happen. First of all, Mafia are gonna ban the E4. W gonna ban the Type 5, and oh my god, I think we're just about to see it once again. Mafia, first of all, coming in with the triple E100, the 1 T57, the Bluskowitzer, and the double Foch B, and I'll leave the fun line up to you.
Thanks, you give me the easy job. 750Bs. I loved it the first time they played this, but the thing is, it's kind of, I call it a Trojan horse strat. It only really works once, you know? Afterwards, you kind of think, oh yeah, the horse is full of soldiers. We saw in the previous playday, who played it? Was it Sicarios, I think? And that didn't go very well. I think it was Sicarios.
Yeah, it was Sicarios. They had 550Bs and double T57, but then again, Sicarios are not W, and that opening is a little bit different from what we've seen before from W with those 750Bs. They're sending Piotr through the middle, actually, with that singular 50B, and 6 of them are going to go in towards the cap, but this time around, they're going to face off against a lot of steel. Yuzek immediately there with the E100. They're taking damage by the T57 already. That's a lot of shots, a lot of fire, and a lot of damage on either side, but the dust settles, and the 50Bs, which is the most important thing, all of them are alive, all of them are pretty healthy, all of them will be able to reload for now. Cap is going. Mafia are under pressure.
Yeah, the thing is that it's interesting. They deny the northern strike and the 50Bs. They're aiming for the southern strike, so that's going to force Mafia to actually make a play. They're pushing in, but Orsic, he gets absolutely deleted. They're ignoring these E100s. These E100s, they're just meat. You don't need to focus them, so they're focusing out those T57. 7 seconds on the cap. I don't think it's going to go through. Kono does get that decap. The Bs are coming off reload now. Lucan is trying to shield Clerth, but Barkas is clipping out. Kono backs away now, and it's just a bit of an awkward game. It's here, there, and everywhere at the moment. If these 50Bs of Mentos and Itox can get off reload, oh, Mentos doesn't. They need to pick up these E100s now. They're kind of blocked and surrounded. If Nepal can make his full clip here, it can make a massive difference.
Well, let's see. Mentos still has one more in the clip, does it in towards Conrad, who is still pretty healthy. Nepal needs to be careful not to take any hits from Conrad here. He's on a one-shot by himself, and W, they're of course not able to heal up their tanks. They've only got this autoloader ability. Itox with the good shield for Nepal, who should be able to peek here as Profuse comes in with that Bluskowitzer. Panic shot from Nepal, not going to connect. Meanwhile, Ios all off of reload here. Will he be able to clip out Kono while he's in the healing ability? Yes, Kono should be going down here, as does Profuse actually, and all of a sudden Mafia with only 3 tanks alive, but they do answer with the double kill, so 4 left for W as Ios chases after Barkis, but Mentos gets shut down by Conrad. This is still anyone's game, but Rexa, he is on a 1 clip here in his Foch. Ios with the ram puts Barkis down towards a 2-shot. That is exactly the amount of shots that Piotr has in his clip. He does the shots. He needs 1 as well from his brother, but Rexa now in the 1 versus 3 and only 2 shells in the chamber. He's not going to win that.
No, he can't win it, and this is the type of strat I love. Maximum aggression, maximum carnage, maximum pressure. Taking all those crossfire angles in the first 30 seconds and then saying, okay, drive into our crossfire. You have to. You can't take the strikes. You've got no strike mediums. You've got to go in. And the fact that some small mistakes by Mafia, they didn't let the 100s apply enough pressure. So the T57s of Mafia had to come forward. One of them got deleted, but this is fantastic by W. It's a style of play that I love. You know, back in the day when I used to play advances and stuff, if we fought a weak clan, I'd kind of tell people, all right, just take bat shots and we'll take every position, we'll make crossfire, and you can do a bit of communication training, right? Because when you're playing autoloaders, you have to communicate a lot with the cycling reloads, how many shells do you have? And this is a very high level style of play. We've seen it from W before. They play on the Muravanka with, the rat tactic, which is a really hard strat to pull off because it has a lot of moving parts. This is the same thing. Every 50B needs to take every good position and make their clip to make this worth it. This was fantastic by W.
I mean, this time around, it felt a little bit more hard fought than when they did it the first time around, but the strategy definitely holding merit, and I think the key here is that unlike Sicarios, W actually immediately go for this cap where they then force the opposing tanks to come in, and whenever the opposing team is forced to make a move, most of the time with those moves come mistakes as well. The fact that 1 T57 immediately dies before anything else really happens.
To be fair, he made 2 full clips. So I think that wasn't that bad, actually. I was looking for the T57 damage. I thought he didn't make that much, but he actually made 2 full clips. So I think that was quite worth it. But the E100 was the big issue. One of the E100s, he only got 3 shots off, which I think is an issue in a tank like an E100 with this much HP. He was obviously driving into that little close-range cubby. I think an E100 in this type of game needs to get off more than 3 shots, especially when you're not the priority target.
Yeah, no, I think W at this point in time from that side of Runeberg, they're just vibing. And I think once again, that is a problem for the opposing teams, just like with the red strat that you mentioned on Morabanka, is that whenever teams are going to be playing Runeberg against W now, they cannot be sure what happens.
The thing is the 50B on field has optics, so he spots the field early. This is kind of like Cliff, where you've got to make very quick decisions in the first 10 seconds. So they know, because of the 50B doesn't spot anything on the field, they know they're in city. And so they just take the crossfire position. They have a reaction based on information on the field. And it's a perfect reaction. You're forcing them to come close. It's a hard style of play to make, but you've got that crossfire and you're applying so much pressure with the cap. And there was at least 2 50Bs aiming the crossing towards the southern strike that they can't get it. It's a really nice strat, you have to say.
Okay, well, Mafia seemingly adjusting. They do not want to play against 50Bs anymore, is what it seems like. And W, they're saying no to the Bliskowitz. That leaves us with Mafia coming out with a Dravets double T57 double Type 5 heavy, a 430U, and an E4.
Yeah, W triple T57 430U, 1 Fosh with binos, which means he'll probably be spotting the upper side, or we can say, looking at the map, the eastern strike and WE4. Quite surprised. 430U's coming out on both teams. Low noise 430U on Kono as well.
I mean, the 430U as a tank has surprisingly good camo, so the low noise just amplifies that. I was more looking at the optics that were on the T57 or Mentos, actually. I'm going to be very interested as to where he's going to go. But first of all, both teams, I think, spreading out a little bit. No one really looking for that immediate knockout punch that we saw before, and I think now we're going to go into a more typical round of Ruinberg. More typical being a little bit slower.
Yeah. Mafia have double type, W have double E4, so you'd kind of favor the E4s in that scenario. You know, there's so much meat. IOS get some info into Yuzik, nothing traded. Quite surprised that Mafia chose the 430U on the field. I think taking a medium to E0 has fallen a bit out of fashion. Especially, nice blind shot by Conrad.
Oh, wow.
To Cluff.
And he knows that he hit.
Yeah, because of the ability. His ability will go up with that blind shot, so that's nice. Conrad now has gained a bit of information, which is very important on Runeberg, because no info towers. Obviously, you want to make some traps. Isles takes the southern one. And yeah, we're definitely in for a slower game.
I mean, that is probably exactly what Mafia wants right now after this first round that started off extremely furiously. Now, taking position by position, getting a blind shot is always, you know, a comfortable feeling when you know that you hit because of the ability. And now Conrad is just going to mirror the 430U. He is going to take the other artillery strike. This means that essentially the map is kind of split, and the resources, the neutral resources on it are as well. I still feel like Mafia, in an extended firefight, they might have the better tanks. But then again, W, with that Fosh B, if they actually get to use the clip well, and then they're able to stall the engagement until the Fosh B reloads, that could be very good for them. So I don't think anything is decided quite yet, especially since Barkis also has taken a lot of not a lot, but a shot or two of damage, which kind of establishes parity in the damage dealt department. Yeah, both teams, I think, establishing right now and looking for weaknesses, looking for opportunities.
Yeah, Barkis took a shot early. I feel a bit bad for Barkis because Itox peeked on the corner, spotted Barkis. Barkis didn't spot him in return. So then Itox could peek him unawares, give him a shot. Barkis tried to shoot back but didn't connect it. So, little thing. I mean, right now, W, they will be getting the strike a little bit earlier than Mafia will. But Mafia do have a bit more map control, I'd say. I'm not really sure who takes at the moment. The thing is, it's types versus E4s, right? So it depends a bit on the engagement.
I feel like
Ayos does need to use the strike though.
I feel like either side has an opportunity to win this game. As you said, it's all going to be about the engagements, and of course, Ayos has the priority currently just because he took the strike earlier. Then again, I would say the targets that are being focused by the strikes currently favor Mafia a little bit, because if you're able to strike T-57s, that's normally better than striking a Type 5, even though the Type 5 is kind of the lowest team now on the Mafia lineup. But Mafia seemingly not content anymore with sitting around doing nothing. Conrad taking a big hit as well in that Drabets, once again resetting the artillery strike. And now maybe those T-57s together with the 430U are going to make a move through the 3 line.
Yeah, we've seen it before from Cashback. The Types peak, they take the shots, and the tanks, they cross over to Ayos and make that kill. Yuzek gives one to Lukin, so Yuzek is going to want to take the E4 shots and the T-57 clip so the rest of the tanks can cross. But Ayos does have more cover than we've seen in previous games. Nepal is behind him. You saw the strike was placed on him just so they can try and kill him a bit quicker. 1 E4 fires, but it's not really enough damage. Rexar does get spotted though. That's really nice by Ayos, gives them the info. And you see Yuzek, he's just in the open, he's taking damage, but Mafia, it's not enough, so now they finally go. But Yuzek took a lot for that. Kono takes a lot as well. He might die on this cross.
I mean, Kono going down to a one-shot. Ayos to pick it up. Yes, Rexa and Orzhik are still coming, but that 430U, I think, more than has done its job here, draining the complete life of a 430U plus a T-57. Almost dead. Conrad with a good track shot into Mentors, but he does have the rack kit available, and now both of those autoloaders are going to gang up on towards Conrad in that Dravets. Yes, Klurf takes a lot of damage, but he can sustain one more shot by Conrad. That doesn't even manage to do it, and now Nepal and Lukin coming back in, but Nepal absolutely gets shut down, but still W with the gun and HP advantage.
Yeah, Barkis goes down. Prufus is all on his lonesome against 4 in front of him. Sure, they might kill the T-57 in the south, but it's just not enough. The pain train of W, they did the damage. You saw this, we've seen this push done before twice by Cashback, but the thing is that, you know, W, they're not Lotus. They know how to do this. If you have 2 E4s aiming, you have one shoot Yuzek, the other holds the shot. And because of that, Yuzek takes like half his HP in damage, but the rest of the tanks are still ready to shoot the crossing. And we saw, you know, Kono, his low noise, it didn't help him on that crossing. He was deleted. The T-57, sure, they got out Ayos, but the trade, it just wasn't worth it.
No, I think it all was down to Rexa peaking prematurely, kind of giving it away that something was incoming on the 3 line, and also the timing by Yuzek was a little bit off. He was a little bit too early because he took the shots on the cross by the E4s, and then, you know, the T-57 430U push over the 3 line. There was enough time for the E4s to get one full reload in, and that is why the 430U got completely obliterated on the cross. So yeah, a little bit of a timing issue on the side of Mafia, which is not something you usually see. Maybe that first round still leaving a mental mark, an impression on the team of Mafia.
Yeah, I think Ayos made a good peak, spotted Rexar on a good timing. I think he would have died anyway. I don't think it makes a difference, but yeah, W coming out of this one 2-0. My predictions not looking that bad now, but yeah, Mafia really just looked like the worst team in this one. Kono with 0, 7k by Yuzek. I think he penned a few HE shots. That's a big amount of damage for a type, by the way. So congratulations to him on that one. And the rest, it's not that much to say. I think Mafia were just 2 steps behind in this game. Surprised Prufus got out so little damage as well, considering he was alive almost until the end. He was like the second last to die, I think. And he was in the thick of things, but yeah, this was always a difficult push. You know, this type of push, it's easier against a team like Lotus or Sicarios, but when you're fighting W, like, they have the idea. You know, you cycle your reloads. You don't just... This is not the right word, but you don't just blow your load in the first 10 seconds. One E4 shoots, the other E4, he waits, he holds a shot until the other E4 is about halfway loaded, then he might take a shot at the type. So Yuzek was just standing there awkwardly because they hadn't all fired, but enough of them had fired to deal a good amount of damage to him. And they thought, okay, if this continues, Yuzek's just going to die, let's go. But everyone was still ready, so Kono gets deleted on the cross, and from there, it's just a downhill spiral. So,
well,
pretty basic by W, but solidly done, you know? If you do the basics correctly, you win the game.
There is a piece of good news for Mafia, though, and that is that Ruinberg is now over and Pilsen is about to start. And we all know how comfortable Mafia are on Pilsen, on Polish teams in general. And if I recall correctly, W at some points in time, they have actually struggled on this map. And mind you, this is actually Mafia's map pick. So let's see if they're able to turn it around here on this map. Their backyard, essentially, of Pilsen. 430U and EBR being banned respectively. So Mafia are going to start with a 50B double Dravets, an E100, a Type 5, an E4, and Kono playing the RHM.
W1BZ, triple T57, one of those with optics. I'm glad to see that Vents are winning the race against... I'm a Vents enjoyer. They're winning the race against Grousers. 1 CS for the small strike, E4 and RHM. So both teams have a light info used in the beginning by Kono.
Well,
only Piotr being spotted.
Yeah, he sees only a singular BZ75, so that is not a lot of info. That also means he doesn't have the replane available. Kono using, IOS using his plane, and he does immediately get a lot of spotting damage on towards Kono here, and that means he's gonna have a level 3 plane available, just like Kono, though, who probably was able to deal a shot of damage. Klurf is driving to secure the artillery strike on the coal piles. But yeah, he won't be able to push further because that is where Profuse with the Dravets would be waiting for him. Big hit into Yuzek by, I believe, one of the E4s, and Piotr is going to safely boost into the artillery strike here. He's going to be able to take that one, so cap pressure is not going to be too much of an issue as of right now.
I'm worried for Mafia at this moment in time. Just double strike being taken very early. W being very efficient with it, you know, that initial damage on Kono, just allowing them to take this map control. Yuzek on the cross, I don't know what happened there, a bit of unorganization. Lucan and Mentos, they even had an opportunity to peek and clip out. They opt not to, they just take the freebie. And yeah, cap pressure's on, but it's not going to make a difference. The CS has a small strike, they've got 2 big strikes. I am very concerned for Mafia at this moment in time.
Well, first of all, IOS decides not to take the info tower, and instead Konrad and Barakis might be pushing on towards Piotr here, but I'm not sure that they can actually do this. A strike is gonna go down, and you can see Mafia, they're trying to actually crossfire Piotr out of the position. A second strike gets put as well, so Barakis taking a lot of damage. The Hurricane Claw from the field as well. The double T57 peaks, and snap shut goes the trap. A tank has been removed from the Mafia lineup.
I'm not sure you could even call it a trap. Those T57s, they were going to go behind, then they went in front. Nepal doesn't clip out completely. Conrad's about to go down any second. The strike will not kill him, so Mentos will need to pick that one up when he's loaded. Piotr boosting to try and support his teammate of Nepal while he's on reload, but this game, it's just about done. Yuzek's gonna die. Sure, Mafia have the field control, but they're not catching anything at the moment. Klurf will probably die on this lower side. Not sure if there's even enough burst to kill him, actually. He'll take a lot of damage, but I think he survives this. As the dust kind of settles, Mafia were just, I don't know, it's just boys to men at the moment. W were just better from start to finish.
Yeah, W really got the number of Mafia down at the moment. It's kind of crazy to see how far mentally ahead W are at this point in time. I mean, still 4 tanks alive for Mafia, but looking at the HP, looking at the distribution of tanks, Mafia, they do have a singular artillery strike. They're going to use it. Mentos is going to dodge it. Good anticipation from him. Lucan and Piotr not even moving here. So yeah, 8 seconds remaining. Now all the strikes have been consumed as well. Rexa is going to peek, but he's going to peek into a lot of enemy tanks. He's just going to take damage, and that's going to be all she wrote on Pilsen round number 1. W, they're on an absolute roll here. 3-0 match point. They're making Mafia look like school children.
Yeah, boys to men. As I said in the beginning, you know, when you're winning in gambling, you always continue because winning lasts forever. And yeah, W now match point. I mean, we've seen this early in the season. I think Hit and Run played Mafia and they 3-0'd them in the first stage. But yeah, in this one, W just look ahead. You know, from start to finish, they did a nice opener. IOS held his plane. Maybe he counted they did some training room shenanigans where they count how long it takes a RHM to get to that the bushes there. They put a blind plane and spotted him. Maybe they did their research and see how Kono does his spotting runs every time. But like 1,000 initial damage on the light that forces the light away, that gives field control, that's double strike taken. And they can abandon the field they want. They already have the strike, they have the decaps. And Mafia have such a heavy lineup, one E100, one type, E4 as well, not the most mobile. They're kind of forced into static positions where W can just punish them for every move they make.
Yeah, and also the lineup that W brought, I think, against a lot of the positions and the way that Mafia played, it worked out very well. Driving into loaded T57s or E4s with E100s and T57s, E100s and Type 5s, that's exactly the kind of tanks that T57s and E4s want to shoot at, right? Because the T57, pretty good heat pen, the E4, fantastic APCR pen, and that is what you want to have when you're dealing with super heavies. Those kind of tanks are just not going to stand a chance at that point in time, especially when they're in the open. And the problem for Mafia there as well in the destroyed factory was that they were trying to build Crossfire, but there was so much open ground to cover until they could get to Piotr that they were just being torn to pieces.
That phase 1 score, that was W's first round in this season of OLS. They got clapped, and that was their only loss.
Well, it seems like they've made some adjustments since, and if this was phase 1, then W would have already won. But of course, this is phase 2, so they need one more round, and sometimes this last one can be the hardest one to get. Let's see, first of all, what the bans are going to tell us. Both teams actually opting to go for a light tank ban here, interestingly enough. So the RHM and the EBR are gone.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I think with the T57 meta, we're going to see a lot more teams play less super heavies and play more wide. Mafia, triple BZ, triple 4-3 and a Foch, they're going for that full aggression.
And for W, they're going to play very mobile, I guess. Triple
Ratty.
50B, double CS, and double 430U. So there is actually not a single tank really with armor to speak of if you don't count the 430Us if they go hull down. That's also very interesting to see. Then again, W, first round of Ruinberg, mind you, they also were playing essentially 7 paper tanks.
Yeah, but this map's a lot more open. I've been thinking about it. I think with the autoloaders coming more into fashion, I think teams are going to want to play more wide, You want to poke T57s. You don't want to go close to them, but Mafia, they're going up close and personal. And Piotr, I fear you're not long for this world, my friend.
Well, he's gonna have backup of 50Bs that are coming his way, but that is a lot of Mafia tanks that are starting to peak all on towards Piotr. Rexar taking a chunk of damage as well, down towards one shot immediately. And Ios, he does have the Artist Strike available soon, but Rexar just dies before that as Piotr gets shut down as well. But the 50Bs now on reload, they need to drive away. That is why Mentos is trying to sacrifice himself a little bit so that the 50Bs actually can get a secondary clip him. He just wants to suicide to be able to distract those BZ-75s. If he makes it safely, all the better, but no, the strike is going to shut him down. But in come the 50Bs once again with the loaded clips, and Uzek just once again in this match blows up, and W, they pull every single gun that they have into this fight, but the 50Bs, they're reloading.
Yeah, maximum effort, maximum forces. Kono, this clip is going to be decisive. He will pick up Nepal here, but the amount of time it's taking Kono to pick it up is a big issue. This is crossfire. Profus is going to be very important as well. Orzic will die in a moment once Klurf gets off reload. They do have the clip potential unless he can get out around the corner safely. Klurf does just have the clip potential. Lukin might give a shot as well. Kono needs to come in and make his full clip and needs to make it decisively because now the 50Bs are going to be on reload again. Kono on reload. He pops ability, but for what? No one's going to shoot him. They know he's off reload and there's no one who can kill Lukin at the moment.
Well, let's see how this one goes. Klurf currently able to reload, but that ammo rack is obviously going to reset a lot of the reload as Itox comes in from the side. Is going to kill Conrad, but Lukin falls in return as Ios focusing on towards Kono, who is still in reload. Klurf just about to come off of that. The first shot doesn't connect, however. The ram by Profus is going to put him on a one-shot as Kono has the ability. Again, Ios with another shot in towards him, but all of a sudden Kono is reloaded, and the first, the second, the third shot are going to come in. Ios to shut it down. down, which leaves Profuse, the team captain, in the 1 versus 2. Make that the 1v1 as Ios able to get that shot into him. But now it is a 50-50 roll. Obviously, the 430U now with the reload advantage here. But Ios, he gets the roll and he gets the 4-0. W absolutely trample Mafia.
Yeah, even if he didn't get the roll, he would have gotten a small strike there. This was a chaotic one. You know, tanks all there and everywhere, kind of similar to that first round we saw. But Mafia trying something. I think they thought playing slow's not working. Let's just push them. But just small mistakes, small margins. I think Mentos was a bit overzealous going into the open, but Rexar dying immediately. That was really a big issue. The 50Bs from W, I do have to say, they played fantastically this game.
Yeah, I think W today, and I mean always, W are this kind of team, like when they're at their low, they are very, very low, and it seems like almost at the lowest of some of the teams out there. But when they're playing to their fullest and they hit their skill ceiling, it feels almost impossible to beat them. And
yeah, on paper, they probably are the highest individual player skill team. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm not sure what happened to Nepal, actually. I'm surprised he got out so little. Can you check the pen rates for me? But
of course.
Yeah, I took 6.5k in such a short game. You know, that was like probably 4 minutes or less. And if you look at Mafia, 100% pen rate, by the way, which is also quite impressive. The W pen rate, not great. Probably the reason it got so low. So bear in mind, we've seen it so many times before, right? The HP of the BZ versus the burst of the 50B, and it's
I think Nepal
which one gives up first.
Nepal took a little bit of damage from the BZs, and after that, Kono came in with the Fosh B and killed him while he was on reload. So his pen rate's not horrible, 4.43. I mean, sometimes you bounce a shot in a 50B, it just happens. But I think just the way that the game played out, Nepal just got caught.
Things happen. I mean, like I said before, I'd prefer to do 0 and win than 10k and lose. So, yeah, Itox gets the accolades, but W get the points.
Absolutely. And yeah, this is going to conclude the second playday of the second phase of the AMD Onslaught Legends series, Season 6. But of course, the entire season is far from being over. We have a small little break now, 3 days to be exact. We're going to be back on Sunday, but to be honest, like, say what you want about the 50B and T57 meta, but it's hella fun to watch, in my opinion. And of course, there's going to be more of that goodness on Sunday. The stream then is going to start 2 hours earlier, respectively, compared to today, as we're used to. The weekend streams do start a little earlier. We'll also have one more match on that day, but it's not going to be OLS. But yeah, here are the standings now after today. And, well, I mean, Cashback trying to make a comeback, but Weekend saying no with that match against Sicarios. They keep the distance. Mafia and Hit both unable to do what they wanted to today, and that is keep up with W. And, well, the reigning champions are on place 1 of the regular season standings with an 8-match win streak. Yeah, they're looking good right now.
I still find it crazy, the fact that they got 3-0'd in the beginning by Mafia.
Yep.
And then since then, it's just been win after win after win. And yeah, if you're Cashback, it's not just sweat now, it's panic, right?
I mean,
they
if you're Cashback, it's probably also a little bit of praying as well, because they will need help from other teams to make it into the finals. And I think it would be the first finals ever that Cashback as a team miss, which would be kind of crazy. But yeah, we'll all find that out together in the coming playdays. Of course, as always, we are going to raid Dakilzor after, so if you haven't been able to claim all the drops yet, which I think in 10 minutes, if you're watching this, you probably haven't been able to yet, we are going to raid him. You're definitely going to be able to claim those OLS tokens. By the way, they're in the trio bundle that you can buy to support the prize pool. There is a mission with which you can get additional tokens as well. So consider doing that too. It's going to be supporting the players. 100% of the proceedings are going to the prize pool. And with that, I think that's very much enough from the two of us. That was a quick, but also a very fun match to watch. We'll see you all on Sunday. Bye-bye.
you coming with us?